Hey guys, it's Chris from Enola Gay, and it's time for Valken Debrief Live.
Alright, mic check. Kaiju's mic, 1, 2.
This is Fuzzy Face on the ones and twos. The ones and twos.
Need mine as well?
Well, of course.
Yeah.
This is me. Hello.
No, sounds good.
You're frozen.
I'm frozen.
Welcome to the most interactive airsoft show on the interwebs. It's the Valken Debrief Airsoft live show. Each and every episode is sponsored by the fine folks at Enola Gay. Also, don't forget to sign up for the largest growing airsoft community in the world, known as the Valken Alliance. You can link up with other Alliance members throughout your region on our Facebook groups by just searching the Valken Alliance. We also offer Alliance sponsorships for qualified airsoft teams. And the Valken Debrief also shares local and national airsoft events so you don't miss out what's going on in your region. We also give away some sweet products from time to time, so the more you interact, the greater the chance you could win. And we work hard to bring you new and exciting special guests during each episode. You can also find us at many airsoft events throughout the world. And if you miss any of our live casts, you can always catch the rewind on our YouTube channel or SoundCloud. So sit back and get ready for your Valken Debrief.
Warning, the following video contains strong language which may be offensive to some viewers and/or inappropriate for immature airsoft players. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences with common sense only.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Valken Debrief Airsoft live show, episode number
110. Whoa, 110? For real? 110?
110.
We haven't been canceled yet?
Nope.
Shocking.
I know, right?
Stay tuned. You better watch every show you can because we could be canceled at any moment. It's just we're perilous hanging on.
I know, right?
So get us while you can.
For those of you that are new to watching or listening to the show, I am the Kaiju, the Supreme Commander of the Valken Alliance.
Over here, this is Peltas, Lord Fuzzy Face. Welcome all my citizens to BB-Shire. Remember to sign up to vote because we're having elections. They don't mean anything because I am a royalty, so I do not bow to
That's true. You are a dictator.
you peasants and listen to your whims.
Dictator.
But my royal council, which advises me, will be having open positions. So please make sure you go down to your local BB-Shire post office, sign up to vote. It's important.
Yeah, we hope everyone had a great Christmas, a great New Year.
Mm-hmm. It's 2020, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the 9th. It's
wow.
January 9th.
I know. It's been a while.
In 9 days, we leave for SHOT Show.
Well, it's another 9-day anniversary right now because this is the 9th day I've had to cross out 19 and write 20 when I'm signing
So we have a little tradition here on the debrief. The first commenter in the live chat on our Facebook feed.
Is it that one guy? The guy who always wins it? Or
No.
Do we have someone new today?
It is not Ethan Vaughn.
Ooh, I wonder if Ethan got in trouble for staying up too late to be the first
No, he's
commenter.
probably eating ice cream right now. That's
so?
what he always blames. He was eating ice cream.
Ice cream is always the excuse. I can respect that.
So our overachiever of the night, which is our first commenter in the live chat, is
High five
Joshua
to
Brown.
I'm ready. Wait, no, I missed it. And I got it.
There
finally,
you go.
Finally got it.
So, be sure to. We are this close to locking in new sponsorships.
Wait, we're this close to locking them in? Like, so we've invited them over.
Yes.
They've had appetizers.
Yes.
But
They're about to sign the dotted line.
We haven't delivered, like, the brandy and cigars yet. That's what we're still waiting on right there?
But current sponsors, Enola Gay.
Ooh, I like Enola Gay.
I know.
Because they are a lifestyle brand. I like that term, lifestyle brand. Lifestyle brand.
I know, right?
Because you can both run with your smoke grenades while you are wearing your Enola Gay outfit.
We're going to be more surrounded by Enola Gay lifestyle stuff soon.
Are we really?
We are.
Oh, is that part of...
Shh.
Oh, but the thing with the two guys that came over in the rain... Okay, shh. All right.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Okay, well, it's very important news. It'll be involving... How do we say this without giving it away? E-gay.
We
no,
just
no,
don't
that's too close.
say anything at all. Okay.
Enola G.
Our other sponsor we'd like to say thank you to is the Valken Alliance. Head on over to Valken Alliance. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now that our viewers can hear us once again, head on over to the ValkenAlliance.com and sign up. It is the what?
We're not
Number
saying
one-
It's a new year, new term. We're not saying pyramid scheme anymore.
Yeah,
We're
we are.
saying
It's a pyramid
multi-level
scheme.
marketing. It's a new
Multi-level
term.
marketing.
Multi-level
No,
marketing scheme.
we just want to get everyone in your region connected and hooked up.
I saw a couple. We got a couple new signups over Christmas. I approved a couple,
Oh, I know.
and looks like it's growing.
Yep.
So remember, the more people you share it to, the more it's a way to build your local community
Okay, nobody sees you.
or your
Dude.
local region.
So you look over here. Nobody
I
sees you.
talk with my hands.
I know.
I am.
So
from
we're
Northeast,
featuring
is how this
the
works.
southern region tonight. So after you sign up,
palm trees
head back
and-
over to Facebook and put Valken Alliance in your search bar to find your local region. And
That's a big region.
tonight's featured region is the southern region.
Was that because our guest is from the southern region?
It's all the way from Texas to Florida.
We should break that up because do the Texans consider
No.
themselves Southerners?
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
I always wondered about that.
but not
because
Oklahoma. Oklahoma's Midwest.
That's different. Well, yeah.
And
I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole because I know we have quite the
So-
Oklahoma audience, and they're gonna yell at me, and I'll be in trouble.
oh my gosh, we already got like 30 people in the chat. Who do we
30.
got here?
Those are rookie numbers. We need to pump those.
Oh,
numbers
we got
up.
staff
All
in
your friends.
here.
Staff came to say hi.
We got Mark Rich.
The Lindell, one of the
Oh.
Lindells came to say hi.
Yeah,
The
Bacon
infamous
from Direwolves.
Cole Thornton came to say hi.
Ooh, James Lindsay. We got a paintballer.
Is he BB Curious?
No, he's not. He's good dudes.
I didn't say he was bad, dude. Like you answered a different
He's not
question
BB Curious.
than-
He's,
okay.
Yeah, he just comes and supports the show.
I wasn't implying that he was like a bad guy or anything. I just was saying like maybe he's
got
interested in
Brian
BBs.
Burgess from Overwatch Tactics. Lucky
Cookie
Branch
himself. Cookie
You know,
said he's on the treadmill right now.
Lucky, are we going to see you at? Because we're going to be at more Third Coast Airsoft events this year. Are we going to get to see you more often, Lucky? The Cloutless Wonder
Himself
is watching.
Are they on tonight after us?
They are.
They are on tonight.
They
So,
are.
Cole, thanks for saying hi before you do your thing. I know it's always busy before a show.
So big shout out to several podcasts. Another Serious Airsoft podcast comes on after us. Five dudes: Punk, Cole, Derek,
I think they're
Carl,
up to 6 now. They got I think
Corey.
the legendary Cass himself is now part of that crew. Like
I don't think he comes in all the time.
he's
though.
like a part timer.
He's a
He's like
part-timer,
a
gotcha.
fill in when like Corey has to go like protect the streets and stuff.
Gotcha.
So
So also Guerrilla Airsoft Radio.
they are the OGs of the business. Been doing it forever.
All of us are on Thursdays, and then the Chair Softer show in the UK, and
Is he on Thursday too?
yeah, and there's actually another one Thursday afternoons. It's about 5 p.m. Eastern, I believe. It is the Wolverine Airsoft.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Rich and those guys, they do basically customer
I
Q
think
and
that's
A's.
the earliest airsoft show.
Yep.
They're like the early bird special of airsoft podcasts.
Kurt Corpy from High Ground is watching. David Pollock, what's up?
Ooh, High Ground. Hey, what's up?
Co-
I really enjoyed your field. It was
Cody
ton of fun, wasn't
Clegg.
it? Ooh.
Oh my God, that means Cameron Gully's got to be somewhere near.
He's hovering.
He's hovering.
Unless he's installing a pole right now. or
Michael
something like that.
Ochoa. He's saying, "We want Matt. We want Matt." Got whisper.
And because of that, we're not going to bring him on for another 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like we're just going to chat.
And good friend John Northman Bond. John Bond, he is in the Northeast region. He's been like a commander up there for John Lou events. I mean, he really loves the community up there. So big shout out to John Bond.
Did I miss anybody else in here?
Rich from Shrike Tactical. Corey
Always.
Saltsider. Happy belated birthday, Corey. Yesterday was Corey's birthday.
Was it? Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't get a
was.
notification.
It
Happy
was.
birthdays.
We got Veritas in the house.
Anybody else? Oh,
Yeah, well, there's a lot.
Costa
Mike Nation is here.
Mike Nation. I think Snick Chris. Do I know his name?
Francisco Costa Lobo is Portugal.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Hey, what? Thank you for watching all the way from Portugal.
I will tell you the story. I was the witness for him and his wife's wedding at SHOT Show. Francisco, was it 4 years ago?
No way.
Was it?
I want to see pictures, or it didn't happen.
Was it 2016 or 2017? You'll have to correct me. So put it there in the chat.
I'd say I wouldn't mind being in Portugal right now. They have quite the fun way to eat dinner, where you like go from like bar to bar and have like one snack everywhere you go.
I know, right?
Like here's some good squid. Here's some little like bready things. Fantastic. It's a great way to live.
So, for those that don't know, we do have a hotline that you can call, and right now it's turned off, so you'll be directed to voicemail. But we are fielding voicemails. We take your comments, we take your suggestions for guests, for topics, or if you just want to call and roast us, that's great too.
I think it's worth calling just to hear that voicemail message.
I know, right? So
it's a special one.
So that number, for those that are listening on SoundCloud, it's 856-975-0650. And to give you an example, because we love to play voicemails, we do. So if you leave a voicemail, we're gonna play it.
I think it was Moff Gideon this time called us. Not 100%.
So we're gonna play a quick voicemail. Let's see who in the chat can. Oh, 2015. Francisco said 2015. Wow,
Your
5
memory's
years ago.
going.
So
Old Fart just joined us. How's it going, buddy?
Zeb. All right. So see if you guys and gals can guess who this is.
Hey guys, it's Tim. I'm guessing I got the timing wrong again. It's not 5 a.m., right? It's 5 p.m. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I totally messed up. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll come back in how many hours? I need some more sleep.
It sounded like you've been drinking a little bit.
Does he think that we're in Hong Kong or something? Because it's only an hour difference between us and Vancouver. I don't think does he know time zones at all? I'm a little worried about him.
Yeah, I know, right?
He acts like it's such a big time difference, like he's calling next week or something like that.
Yeah. So we're going to be going to a quick, short commercial break, and right after that, we're going to bring on our special guest, Matt Horner.
Special guest.
Did you just use air quotes?
I just short busted him. I went special, like he's our special guest. You know what I mean?
Oh, jeez. So most of you know him from Titan Power, but you might not realize that he has a lot of franchises. He is an entrepreneur, businessman. He's into a lot of hobbies.
Did you use the entrepreneur word?
I did.
Oh, I wanted to use that. Okay, go for it. It's okay.
Well, you should have said it before the show, so I know.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll just stay over here. It's okay.
So, if you can't stick around, hey, tag your friends, share the show. We're almost up to 40 viewers. And you can always catch the rewind on Fridays on our YouTube channel at Valken Video. Look up the Valken Debrief playlist, or on SoundCloud for the podcast version. If you just want to listen to the show as it's going on,
I feel SoundCloud's going to be like where our big breakout is.
I know, right?
We're going to have a SoundCloud empire. I've been watching a show where a grumpy old sportscaster becomes a SoundCloud emperor.
Cade Yates is blowing us off because he's about to watch the movie 1917.
I can fill in the ending for him. The British won. There, you don't got to watch it now. You're good.
Oh.
Actually, the British didn't win. The British and French fought on for about 4 years, and then right about 1917, we joined in, and then it was over a year later. So you do math on that one.
Bill Miley, last week, he told us he was going into surgery. He wanted to let everybody know surgery went well.
Awesome.
Oh, I'm going to give hearts for
High
that.
fives. Man. Everybody give him a little love in the chat.
Nice.
Because
so
we
we
always
should
like
be
hearing good news. Good news is always good.
So we should be seeing him at Airsoft events.
Good.
And shh, Javier Franco from Centurion Milsim is watching. Shh, don't tell anybody.
Are we even allowed to say the word Centurion? I think, has it gotten to that point?
Oh, I'm allowed to say it.
Is it just like the Airsoft game that won't be named? From now
Oh, Darren from Enola Gay and Who Shot First.
Ooh.
I've been trying to get Darren and Omar from Who Shot First on the show.
Well, maybe if you offer him eggplants. Apparently, Darren likes eggplants a lot.
No, he likes peaches.
Well, that looks like eggplants to me.
I know, but he likes peaches.
Peaches? Okay,
Yes.
so get him peaches.
Yeah. All right, we'll be right back
Greens
after
and
this
peaches.
quick commercial break with Matt Horner. Don't go away. Tag your friends. We'll be right back.
This is Tori with 520 Airsoft, and you're watching the Valken Debrief.
Welcome back to the Valken Debrief Airsoft live show, episode number...
One. It's in the hundreds. It's at 110?
110. 110.
Okay, cool. Just
I'm
making sure.
Kaiju. This is...
This is Beltass. Hey, what's going on?
Yep. And his screen is not frozen. He actually blinked.
He is that zen. He is focused on what he is doing.
Please welcome Matt Horner. Give him some thumbs. Give him some hearts if you guys know Matt.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
Oh, sorry. Before Matt says anything, someone just joined the chat, and I just have to say, peanut butter. That's all. Just moving on. That's it. No, just don't worry about it. Just peanut butter, and we're moving on.
Javier says the first rule of Centurion is don't talk about Centurion. And he says the second rule of Centurion is don't talk about Centurion. Actually, the second rule of Centurion is to not say centrillion.
Centrillion? Or centimillion?
You just.
But is he breaking the rules by talking about it?
I know, right? Yep. Oh,
how you doing, Matt?
I'm good, man. How are you guys?
Oh, we're fantastic.
So, for those of you that don't know, you guys can. We're going to be interviewing Matt from Casting Couch, I guess. I don't know. And you guys and gals that are watching live, you can actually post your questions in the live chat.
It's that big black box below your screen.
Yes.
Is the chat area.
It actually says write a comment, and we will ask Matt for you.
Do we have to? I mean, I don't want to share all the comments because we want to keep them on the show. So.
So for example, Henry Adkins says, "Yo, it's that Matt from Titan Power."
Does he work for Titan Power?
There's a story behind that, by the way. We'll have to get to that eventually.
Well, why don't you tell it right now? Hey, well, let's jump into it.
Tell it right now.
Story?
So, I don't really know. Henry may know where it goes back to, but somewhere along the lines, Titan was a transition in my life from regular airsoft player to sponsored player, and we'll get into that later, and eventually a consultant, and now it's one of my full-time jobs. But along the transition, I was both Matt from the Airsoft Outlaws based in Arkansas and Matt with Titan Power. And there would be people that would come up to the booth and they'd be like, "Hey, it's Matt from Titan Power here." And my teammates are not used to me working at Titan. And so from that point on, it was just everywhere we went was, "Yo, is that Matt from Titan Power?" And just like,
Grant Todd, I think that's Matt from Titan Power. Is it for sure?
Well, actually, our chat is confirming before we can.
Mike Sandoval, is that Matt from Titan Power?
Yeah.
Thank you,
The question
Sean,
has been answered. It is me.
You gotta love a chat that polices itself and takes care of itself.
Oh, yeah.
Like half the time, we don't even have to address their questions because other people are going to jump on that and get on it. It's
I know,
ridiculous.
right?
Almost on autopilot.
Oh my gosh. So Matt, where do you call home, brother? Oh my
So
gosh, wait, I just
in-
did the epitome airsoft, called somebody brother.
It's better than
I live in
operator.
the heart of Walmart land up here in Northwest Arkansas. So
Ooh, so is that like, is it Arkansas or Arkansas?
it is Arkansas.
Okay.
Yep.
So
You
can
gotta
we,
have an accent to say it sometimes.
well, do you guys call Kansas Kansas?
Sure don't.
Okay, I just always wondered about that because essentially, like, if you guys, it's stuck to the
Yeah, it would be
pronunciation.
Kansas, right?
Yeah, it would either be Arkansas or Arkansas and Kansas. You know what I mean? Like, so you guys need to get together and work that out. Is all I'm
I
saying.
know there's so many problems in this area. Oklahoma has the worst roads in the world. We can't pronounce our own state. It's a bigger deal.
Dude, I would rather drive in Afghanistan than some of the backwoods we got. Right now. Like, it is about as bad.
Darren from Who Shot First in Enola Gay says, "Is that Matt from X Hamster?"
X hamster.
Oh my
Ooh,
gosh.
is there a story behind that? Do you have an X hamster video?
There's not.
No, it's just Darren.
Oh, okay.
There's
I love Darren.
no story.
Hey
It's just-
Darren, are we going to see you at SHOT Show?
I hope.
Well, this is what's hard is they have one trade show that literally ends Tuesday of SHOT Show, and then SHOT Show starts Tuesday. So they have to be in two trade shows. It's just
Really?
Chris, it's Darren.
What's the other one? Is like World of Smoke Grenades or something like that? Or
No, it's actually a photographer's
really?
trade show.
You know, and that makes sense because
They have a ton of photographers that
well,
use
I
their
mean,
stuff.
that's a breakout market for all the smoke grenade people. Like, I mean, honestly, I would think that like photography and stuff like that might be a bigger market than airsoft. You know?
Are you ready?
All right, blow me away. Blow me away.
We are
Oh, EMR.
EMR. Timmy Hanley in the house
Is he in
from
the
EMR
house?
event part.
What's up, big guy? You almost got me there. That was
I know, right?
It took me a second. It's been a while. So
Peter says snowstorm here making the internet glitchy.
It's okay. We don't blame you.
Yeah.
That's why you can watch. You can listen on SoundCloud on your way to work tomorrow.
You gotta smile, Matt. You look too serious.
So,
I'm listening. I'm listening very intently.
So where do you want to start this? Do we want to start a little background?
Number 3.
Number 3. We're going to go straight to number 3. Okay. So we know he works for Titan Power.
Yep.
We know you like to play airsoft. So what are some other interests you got going on? Like what occupies your time when you're not pew-pewing or making money?
That was
Man.
number 3.
That I was rewording the question. That was number 3. That's number 3 right there.
Number 3 says, why do you like race cars and motorcycles? That was nowhere near that.
Am I allowed a little bit
Chris
of
doesn't know how to
editorial
count to
at all?
three.
Is
Because
that
he
it?
could have gone totally in a different direction with that.
I'm trying to make these questions sound natural. Is all I'm doing. Like I'm taking this and making it art. Is all I'm saying.
Art?
Yes, art.
You are not an artist.
You guys heard that?
Sounds like you guys are
heard
prepared
that?
for 2 different
Josh
shows.
and Mason were artists.
Wow! Don't say shit you can't take back. Is all I'm saying. Let's not go to those places. So, all right, I'll ask it appropriately. So you do some other stuff like airsoft. I heard you like cars and motorcycles. Did I get that right? You want to try it again? You want to feed me some lines? You want to do that? So you're a mechanical guy. Tell me about that a little bit before we get into the more traditional airsoft stuff.
Sure. So, some of my other hobbies, other than airsoft, I've recently picked up racquetball. I'm probably one of the 4 people in the United States that even play it.
Actually, my son is his state champion for his division in the state.
Really?
Yep. So you are not alone in the racquetball world.
Wow, you have a lot in common with Matt.
It's a little
Yeah,
weird.
that's true.
It is
true.
weird.
Maybe there's some things you don't know.
Been playing a lot of racquetball. I'm a part of a car group. I'm actually an event manager for Express Rally. They're kind of like
cool.
the old, it's kind of like the old gumball rallies where you, it's kind of like a race across America kind of thing. So we do car events. The big thing about Express Rally is we get 50, 60 participants in a weekend and plan the whole thing. All they have to worry about is paying Express Rally the one fee, and then everything except their gas is taken care of. All their hotels, we go to real racetracks as well as go-kart tracks.
Oh, that's
it's typically a 3-day event, and so
For-
that's what takes up all my spare time, really.
Just to interject for a sec, for our fans who have never heard of the Gumball Rally, what he's talking about is essentially the Gumball Rally is, if you ever saw the Dom DeLuise movie Midnight Run from back in the day with Burt Reynolds, it's a real world version of that. So it's a bunch of rich guys with Ferraris and stuff, and then a couple of poor guys who take like Civics and just turn the entire trunk into gas tanks, and they race from New York to LA, or like
See,
Anchorage
Matt, I
to
told you
Miami.
he would know about this stuff. Me,
Right,
I'm
right.
like clueless.
It is really cool. And so Express Rally, what he's explaining is basically the biggest part of Gumball was logistics, because you got to figure out where you're staying every night, how you're keeping the car running. And if the only thing you got to do is keep that gas tank filled, that means everybody can road rally. So I like that a lot. That's cool, man.
And you do that how often a year?
There's probably it almost runs perfectly on opposite months that big ops aren't included on, which is great for me. We probably do about 6 major events a year.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's a lot.
6.
Well, and especially when you're coordinating, because you're going, about 500 to 600 miles each weekend is kind of the average distance?
I should know this because I helped plan the stuff, but I don't. Miles are probably 500, 600 miles. We did one from on the West Coast, so I drove all the way from Arkansas out to San Diego, and then it started in San Diego. We went San Diego, LA, Death Valley, into Vegas. That was my favorite one.
That sounds like a wonderful drive.
Yeah, it was crazy. Getting to race in Death Valley it's unreal. It's one of the coolest things I've ever done.
One of my bucket list events things to do for a long time was the Silver State Classic, I think it's called. That they do in Nevada, which is basically an open road. How fast can you go race? It's like 300 miles, and you just pin it the whole way.
Oh, jeez.
That's
where people die.
Well, actually, I was getting to that. The only reason I haven't gotten to do it yet is now you used to be able to basically do it with any car you wanted. Like, because there's no one else on the road with you, so just show up, and if you murder yourself, it's just you. Who cares? Because the cars are like 10-minute intervals.
Well, if you murder yourself, isn't that suicide?
Well, I mean, whatever, however you want to define it.
Okay.
I mean, I think you're kind of signing your life away once you drive a car about over 100 miles an hour.
Manslaughter yourself?
Yeah, you're already you're giving your rights away at that point.
Jeez, guys, way to bring the chat down.
No, but, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. But essentially, it's a straight dead run, and unfortunately, a guy took his I think it was a 350Z about 10 years ago, and he was doing 195 miles an hour on a public highway in this race, and it just lifted up and it tumbled half a mile. And he got messed up, so now they're a lot more restrictive on safety and all that other stuff. So I don't have $100,000 to put a roll cage.
So Matt, what is your personal conveyance?
What do you mean?
Like, how do you get around town?
Oh, well, big words. I drive a 4Runner when the weather's like it is outside right now.
Respect.
But
Gotta love that.
My it'll run to 500,000 miles, so
Yep.
I can't argue.
Of course, the metal won't last that long, but the engine will be good to go.
Luckily for me, down here in the South, we don't really rust, so we're not around anything salt based. So
because we had that going for us for a while, but now they're spraying brine on the roads instead of grit.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's
Just on the interstate, though.
still no
Just
bueno.
don't go on the interstate.
I need to get places.
Yeah, take
So-
83.
Oh, local roads. Ugh.
My other car, and Chris will appreciate this. It's a C6 Corvette Z06.
Oh,
but
you're that guy.
You're that guy.
So,
No. So like,
Chris, I also it's a full motor build Lingenfelter kit. It does 610 wheel horsepower without a turbo.
I mean, I can appreciate that. I love it. The only thing I have to say is you slipped under the radar because normally your people have their shirt open about 3 inches lower. Your Bluetooth needs to be in every time you're driving, and you need at least 3 chains in the chest hair. Otherwise, you can't drive your Corvette. It's the rules. I mean,
Yeah.
Darren says, I assume Matt Horner does that in the vet.
What's
that?
That?
I think that comment was about the rallies and the races.
Oh,
I would not use. I mean, what am I clicking on?
mute the speaker.
Oh, the speaker's still on. I would say honestly, like it's when you hear racing and road rally racing, you think fast, but actually it's about fuel economy and how comfortable the car is. So going fast is cool, but you still have cops on the highway. So
Right.
it's more about how long you can stay in the driver's seat before you have to get out and pee and stuff. So
Well, and not only that, but some of the express rally events are really targeted towards very curvy roads off the main path, and so you get out into the country in Arkansas and Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, things like that. You've got some really, really good roads where typically you're not going to run into a cop. Every now and then you'll hit like a county cop. And, I mean, that's why you run radar detectors and be faster than the person behind you.
Wait, do we need to put a disclaimer under that statement real quick? Like, don't race on public roads only for exhibition purposes. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Close course. We're doing all this in Mexico.
So let's talk a little bit about your professional life while we have you here. So I thought you just did like Airsoft and Titan, but apparently you're co-owner of like 6 or 7 companies or something like that. Like you are diversified.
He's like
as
the
all
Donald
get out.
Trump of Airsoft.
Yeah. So like fill us in. What is the rest of your? How do you piece together your living?
So, I have a lot of things going on, and really
Think? A little bit.
the reason why I have a lot of things going on is actually because of my past, what I thought was my dream career. So, shall I start there?
Anywhere you want to start, man. Fill us in.
Okay. So, went to college in the University of Arkansas, finished with a web development degree. Quickly realized that web developers don't make money in Arkansas, and so I went into software development. Thought that was my dream job with my dream company, making my dream pay. And I didn't really like any of it. I tried to promote into the cybersecurity team. I earned the promotion, started signing paperwork, and then my current manager said that I was too good for the team and that he wouldn't release me because I was too valuable. And so that was when I put in my 2 weeks and said, you know what, maybe self-employed.
Oh, he froze. He froze with a big pucker kissy
Hold on.
face.
We lost you at self-employment.
Oh, that's not good.
So like the last sentence, just rewind the last sentence.
Am I unfroze?
Yeah,
You're
man.
unfroze.
You're good.
Should we just mess with him?
Cool.
No, wait, no, you're froze again. Wait, no, now you're
I'm
unfroze.
unfroze. Oh, but-
No, you're froze. We could put like red light, green light with this interview. It'd be great.
Oh, I know.
There you go.
So keep going.
So Titan came around during my what I thought was my professional career, and I started as just a sponsored player. And actually, if Brian is still in the chat or any of the Overwatch Tactics guys, they may remember we showed up with our team before I was a part of Titan, just the Arkansas Outlaws, and Trent from Titan actually showed up with the very first battery prototype and said, went to an Overwatch Tactics game in Dogpatch, Arkansas, and said, hey, would people use this? And, it was kind of a resounding yes. And I realized Trent was right in my backyard, so I got started with Titan, kind of as a sponsored player, moved into more of a consulting role, helping build that. And it was,
What is a sponsored player?
So yeah,
Totally loaded question because
Loaded.
we always get asked, "Hey, how can I get sponsored?"
Sure. So, man, that I have the best answer for this that anybody will ever hear. So, you have to provide value to the company in order for them to provide value to you.
Ooh, that was a professional as shit answer. You like that, boys? That's how you answer that question
That was
right
like
there.
fist
I
bump
like
right
that.
there, man. It's
Boom,
like-
fist bump right to the camera. So if you are 14 years old and you have 100 Instagram followers, remember,
It's a two-way street.
Right.
Two-way street.
It's almost like we don't rehearse.
I know, right? We don't rehearse, actually. So yeah, it's never a one-way street. It's never give me a box of stuff and
I'll give you clout bucks for it.
I know
Clout bucks.
because I only accept clout bucks from the Cloutless Wonder.
He doesn't have any to give because he's cloutless.
Dang it!
Yeah.
Cloutless Wonder has no
All
clout
of these are
bucks.
counterfeit.
So, sponsored players. So basically,
Yeah.
what did that mean for you at the time without giving away anything proprietary or that you
Sure,
can't
sure.
talk about?
So for me at the time, it was, hey, Titan, I realize you guys are weak in the airsoft knowledge space, so let me provide you some knowledge about how you can make this product. And in return, I receive free batteries. And so we allotted a certain time per week that I would give knowledge on crane stock fitment, everything airsoft, how to break out in the industry.
Plus, it probably
And,
didn't hurt that you had a pile of random airsoft guns after
Right.
playing for a couple years, which,
Right.
having done some of this stuff now where, like I'm somewhat involved in this here and there, just having a selection of different shit to shove your product in to see if it fits is actually a skill by itself. Like, just assembling all that crap, people forget, like, companies just don't have piles of this stuff sitting around. Like, they have budgets too. So sometimes finding someone that has the stuff is almost as important as finding someone who knows about it. So
For sure.
top
Oh
tip
man,
right there.
I mean, I totally feel because when we were designing the multi-rifle mag pouch, they looked at me going, "Hey, you're the airsoft guy. Like, go get us you got a bunch of different magazines, right? That we can just make sure it fits everything." I'm like, "What do you think I am? Like the Walmart of airsoft magazines?" I mean,
Like, I got like a couple M4 mags, but like, what else do you want?
I may have like 2-3 platforms, but I don't have them all.
It's almost like companies think that everybody on Airsoft Reddit is representative of the whole community.
I know.
With like the bed full of like random guns,
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring up in the chat right now. So I just said David Lee will be on the debrief next week, and David Lee says, "Oh no." My reply, "I have spoken." So David, no ifs, no ands, no buts. You are on the show next week,
I'll come to your house. I don't give a shit.
Yep.
I've got nothing to do between
and
now and
I
then.
will. If you resist, I will send Whisper and Puddin to hog tie you, put you in front of camera, and we're going to make this happen.
I mean, we may not do the debrief, but we'll do something in front of a camera. You know what I'm saying?
So
So
Tony, make that happen.
So going back to our conversation, you were providing knowledge and obviously some general stuff in exchange for batteries. So this was a give and take. How did that
Right.
progress to something you're doing for a living?
It started with the Gary Vaynerchuk videos. If anybody doesn't know Gary V, he's a big motivational speaker, influencer, businessman. He talks about starting your own personal brands and how to really how to really set up your life how you want.
Did you watch his live stream today?
I didn't watch it today. No.
You're not a true Gary Vaynerchuk fan.
I don't know who they're talking about. I assume
Yeah.
this is like Tony Robbins and someone who'll do a
Kind
cameo
of,
in a
yeah,
movie
kind
one
of.
day or something.
He's very unfiltered. He'll say anything.
So,
But anyways, it was the Gary Vee videos that got me thinking that, maybe sitting at a desk all day in a corporate atmosphere, doing nothing but writing code and working with people that also didn't enjoy their jobs probably wasn't for me. And Titan was just spinning up at the time. And about the time that I started to become unhappy with my software development job, Trent offered me an hourly position at Titan. I told him, I wouldn't be able to do that unless it was during this set hours. And so it ended up being something like 24 hours a week that I was working for Titan while still doing a full-time 50-hour job at my software development job. So, Titan started as a side hustle of me just kind of testing the realm of possibility. And then, during the same week that, it would have been the week before I put in my 2 weeks at Tyson. I was actually offered the salary
Tyson
position.
Chicken?
Yeah, he was making chicken programs.
I guess I hadn't mentioned that the software development. I was working in the finance team for Tyson for software development.
Oh, I thought it was going to be something much cooler, like it was teaching chickens to use computers or something like that.
Oh,
Just
funny,
numbers.
Sorry, Matt. Funny story. So you say teaching chickens how to use computers. So my wife bought a little box the other day, Mrs. Kaiju, and I love her to that. It's so awesome. And it said wireless dog speaker. Okay. She thought it was a two-way communication device where she could talk to the dog in the other room, like a baby monitor.
Like someone cracked bark code and translated it or
exactly.
something.
And so this has been like the running gag for like the last week. She did not realize it was a Bluetooth speaker. She actually thought it was a Bluetooth speaker shaped like a dog. Oh, okay, but she actually thought, before she opened the box, that she could talk to our dog while they were in the other room without having to yell for the dog.
And this is an indictment, I would have to say, of the American educational system, because commas are important. Because, you know, like where you put that comma could be like, it's a speaker for dogs, like they wear, or it could be a dog-shaped speaker.
Did you hear that, hon? He said you weren't educated.
I was don't you wish that fucking evil on me. Okay? I know your wife. Like, no. I was making fun of Amazon. Me and Adelaida, we're here. We're cool. We're cool, okay? We talk shit about you mostly.
So, Michael Ochoa says in the chat, if you guys want a motivational speaker, his two favorites are Ed Milet and Grant Cardone.
I'm shocked he didn't give a shout out to the two most motivational speakers he listens to every week.
Who's that?
Peltas and Kaiju, duh. Debrief.
Who's that?
Duh.
We're not motivational. We're just entertaining.
That could be motivation for someone. We could be what gets them out of their chair. We motivated them to laugh.
They're probably in their chair watching the show. We've made it easy for them.
So I'm motivational and you're demotivational. Is that how we work? So they're even? We're kind of like an evener? We balance out?
No.
Okay.
Okay. So you started working for Titan.
So you managed to weasel your way into Titan's pocket. Right. No, I mean I'm not joking. Like, you know,
because people always ask us, like, how do I work in the airsoft industry?
And just say yes.
And it's every person I've met, it's just. It wasn't anything they did on their own. They just happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Talk to someone.
And then it happened, and you're like, what just happened?
You're like, how did I get this job? Wait.
You know, it's honestly a mix, because when Trent showed up to the Overwatch Tactics game and he said that he was working out of Bentonville, Arkansas, I live in Fayetteville. It's a 20-minute drive.
That's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, and so in my mind, as soon as Trent said that, I was like, man, I could really help this guy. And I wasn't thinking anything other than maybe I could get some free batteries. I provide value to him. He provides value to me. I don't have to buy batteries anymore. It's a good deal, right? But the more that we started working in lithium ion, and Rob, I think you can attest to this because you guys had done ample research for a long time about it, the more we realized the benefits of it for airsoft. And it, you know, we truly started from zero as far as the airsoft division is concerned. Titan, as a UAV company, had been around for a while, but we started at true zero for airsoft. And about the time that I gave up on my software development job is the time that I went full bore on Titan, and Titan allowed me to make the jump. And
also
now,
being 20 minutes away. Some people kind of forget also, like, airsoft jobs are not the most lucrative. So sometimes being co-located where an airsoft company is one of the biggest qualifications you can have, because
a lot of companies they want you to move
to where they are.
You know. So there's very few companies nowadays that actually let you to work remotely, and if you work remotely, it's typically like annual contract jobs. You know, it's like you do that for a year, and then you got to go find the next thing.
Arkansas is kind of a hotbed now because you got Titan there. Elite Force is right down the road in the middle of the state. You know, so like Arkansas is a surprisingly hot airsoft area at this point.
That's just two.
That's two more. That's 50% more airsoft companies than we have in Colorado.
No.
Is anybody else here besides us?
We have Titan Milsim, bro.
Oh, do we?
That's true. Yep.
I forgot about them. Sorry, I just forgot about them. I did, but no, I mean, like, you know, they're a production company. It's like, you know, that's not like a, you know, they don't make stuff company. That's more what I was talking about. Did I just? Yeah, I talked myself into a corner there. We're just gonna move on.
You did.
Okay,
just keep going.
So what else do you do besides Titan? I heard that you were involved in a couple other. So you got we already talked about Express. Sorry, did I Race Express?
Express Rally.
Express Rally.
Rally.
Express Rally. So what else are you involved in personally?
So I'm the owner of Ozark Custom Shirts.
Are those some of your custom shirts in the background?
Actually, yeah, we're in the shirt office right now.
Oh, very
this
cool.
this road right behind me is it's downtown Dixon, which is the kind of the heart of Fayetteville. The university is actually this way.
Very
I'm just
cool.
kind of right in the middle of stuff here.
So if you want to hunt down Matt right now, we actually just
you
gave
can find
you.
me. I just told you.
He just told you where he was.
We just pinged him.
Yep.
It's like literally.
So-
So if any of you are in the area watching,
Come
If
join me
I
at the
see
window.
you at that window,
oh,
there is a. Oh, I don't know. We'll do something big.
I'll give
If
you
we
a gun
yeah.
Yeah.
If we see you at the window, there's
Waving.
a gun coming to you.
and show us your phone like you're actually watching.
Yeah, Total Request
I'll
Live.
give you
If
a
you
gun.
can make it there before he
Somebody
leaves
is
this interview.
Somebody's going to come up to this window and scare the crap out of me.
I really,
like
I really just want like a junkie to be walking by or a drunk college kid right now to hit the window, and right as we're talking about that, you just lose your shit. That'd be great.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But that is not a bad place to go to work every day. You got a nice little view of the little college girlies going back and forth to class. Not a bad way to spend your time.
A lot of people don't appreciate having a view from
Yes.
your desk.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
amazing.
very important. So Ozark T-shirts, what do you guys do? Like, do you guys
Yeah,
do
so,
just specialty
you know-
T-shirts, or you guys make your own personal imprints? How does that work?
We do a lot of stuff. The biggest part of Ozark Shirts is we're the only company in the area that can print just one T-shirt. So
Ooh.
with a screen printing company, you got to have a minimum. Sometimes it's 24, sometimes 36. It really depends on your area. We can print just one shirt, and it's a digital based print. So the number of colors don't matter for cost. Whatever you see on your screen, we can print on the shirt, and it really allows for customizing stuff. Like if you're an airsoft team that wants like your call sign or your team name on it, and you don't want to do 36 shirts, we can do as little as one shirt and as many as 10,000.
I wasn't even thinking about airsoft with that. I was thinking like bachelor party shirts and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like
So we definitely do. We definitely do a lot of that as well. But yeah, it really anything custom
or like a joke shirt for your boss, like
Yeah,
like
exactly.
like world's greatest boss knot type thing. All that
Yeah.
joke stuff.
If you guys want to send some shirts back and forth with insults on it, I can make those too.
Oh, like.
What if we send?
Could you make a shirt for him that says he's not kaiju?
Yeah, that actually.
yeah.
I actually need that for the road because
It says I'm not kaiju.
my entire life now traveling with Valken is everybody goes, "Hey, kaiju," and I'm like, "Yeah, he's in the van."
And
I'm not
When
him.
I see people walking up, I will literally like sneak around the corner, and like kids that don't know me, they'll actually walk up to him like, "Are you kaiju?"
And I'm like, no, he's unloading the van right now. I'm the other guy. I'm the guy. So my new way I describe myself is I'm the guy on the left. That's just how I do
What
it.
size is the I'm not Kaiju shirt?
Extra large.
right now?
Extra
Alright,
large. Rich Gully says everyone I know who works in the airsoft industry is broke.
Yep, all of us. We do it for love.
Well, the most, I should say most, when you first start working for the airsoft industry, you immediately go broke because then you start buying shit at company rates.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's a very real problem.
like your first paycheck, boom, just went right back to work.
The first time you have a phone call with another industry guy and you're like, I need this, this, and this, and you get me prices on it, and you go, oh, at that price, I'll just take all of them. And that's when you go way down the rabbit hole. It's bad.
It wasn't a real problem until the North American PDWs and Umbrella Armory.
Yeah. Those are money draining expenditures right there.
Yeah.
So also, I heard a really cool thing. You also, and I was trying to kind of segue with the jokes, but I heard you have a dirty balloon company.
Oh boy, yes. So we have this group. It's called Interwebs Group. We have a small group of companies that are based around the internet, hence the name Interwebs Group. And one of those is Shitty Merch.
One more time, is that like shit merch or shitty merch?
Shitty Merch, 2 words, common spelling.
Okay, so it's not like City Walk on South Park, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Yeah. So we take balloons, we put not safe for work, inappropriate phrases on them, throw them up on Amazon and sell them for birthdays, bachelor parties, even baby showers.
So literally anything you want on a balloon, I can get anything I want on there.
Not quite anything. So this isn't like a print on demand like our printer, but if you go to Amazon, shameless plug, and type in shitty merch or shitty balloons, you'll see our products. And we even have like a general insults one. You can send some to Kaiju. They're pretty funny. There's some.
Oh, so
it's
there,
very inappropriate things
so
called.
you just there's like a drop down and you pick what phrase you want, or can you do?
So it's a combination. Most of them have 20 different. There's a pack of balloons. Like for instance, our general insults pack has 20 different insults inside that you can send to your friends. So.
Because honestly, like I think the best way to quit a job would be just a big old bunch of "go fuck yourself" balloons.
Yeah, there's definitely
go fuck
yourself.
That's the way to quit a job.
So, well, no, I'd like to mess with William Soto from Overwatch Tactics because he likes to drop little playing cards in people's dump pouches.
Oh, he does,
Yep.
doesn't he?
Yes.
Are these the cards that have like girl parts up here and boy parts down there?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, just making sure.
Yes. So I would love if we could get a bunch of William Soto
I'll bring you guys a couple
faces
packs to SHOT Show.
I want William Soto's face on a balloon.
Yeah, just like if you could find it, if we could use one of his pictures with Bash, because he always has this huge smile with Bash, like this big goofy.
Yeah.
So I think that would be the perfect visage to show the world, just the big beaming Soto face on a balloon. Hopefully we can get it to expand or something, or do something funny when you blow it up. That'd be cool too.
Yeah.
Doug Smith says he gets called Freddie Flux on a fairly regular basis.
Oh, speaking of which, Freddie Flux is going to be leading which I think it's the Green faction.
He's leading one of the factions for Operations Hornet's Nest.
Yeah, I just saw that. So
Yep.
throw him some props out there if you guys are heading that way.
Biceps Corey is watching.
Well, he's actually not Biceps anymore. He's moved on to become Jameson now. He's Whiskey Biceps, or I haven't come up with it yet, but I need to come up with a new name because he has a new Facebook name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm working on it. Don't worry, it's in the bottle. February-ish, I'll have it.
Okay, gotcha.
Anyway, man. So, where are we?
So,
at? Sorry, we got down the rabbit hole. A
So
little bit
you're
on
involved
there.
in Titan Power, shitty merch, Ozark shirts, Interwebs group.
Yep.
Did I miss anything?
Yeah. So we already mentioned Express Rally. Another part of Interwebs group that we have is My Friend Sucks. It's not quite public yet, but it'll be My Friend Sucks.
Why do you have to say your friend sucks, man? That's and you don't even name him. That's just wrong.
Yeah. The cool part about My Friend Sucks is you go on there, you type in who your friend is and what they suck at, and we will print you a shirt that says so-and-so sucks at whatever they suck at and send it to you so that you
That's
always
fucking
have a
funny.
print.
That is funny. I like that one.
Yeah.
Are you just creating an empire of like fuck over your coworkers type products? Is that the new
It seems
plan?
like it. Seems like it. Yeah.
Like all you need is like the rubber dog poop store now and like some whoopee cushions. You're good to go now at this point.
Can you change friend to wife?
Yeah. I mean, you can type like, for instance, you could type like my wife sucks at cooking dinner or whatever you want to do to get yourself on the couch.
My wife sucks at opening cereal bags.
Is she a ripper? Does she not trim?
Oh, she rips, and it like
it gives that jagged edge, so when you pour it, kind of like.
Oh no, it's like she'll go to pop open like anything that's a bag.
Yeah.
Like if there's a Ziploc opening, she'll open the other end and open it like a chip bag, and then it just freaking goes everywhere.
I can't really say much because I did that like 2 weeks ago with a couple of product bags. As I'm cutting one side and there's a clear Ziploc on the other.
David Lee says he doesn't buy much airsoft shit. He just buries himself in. You used to buy a lot of airsoft shit, David.
You know what? Yeah. Actually, I'm going to back up that story because when we were in LA, I remember that Tony was saying that David accidentally broke one of his monopods or something like that. So he drove 2.5 hours from where we were to the one store that had one so he could take pictures for the rest of the weekend. So that is a guy who is
monopod,
kind of a camera nerd.
Monopod is life, dude.
That's 2.5 hours. Are you kidding me? Like, that's a long drive.
You don't understand. Like, okay, a monopod is very light and easy to travel with, but you literally eliminate one axis.
Yeah.
So you like at my son's wrestling matches, I'll fully extend it and like hold it up high so it's like a top-down view of the match.
So you're like faking the drone shot?
Heck yeah. Inside a school gym.
So if you can't afford a drone, hot top tip, just get a really long pole.
Monopod,
Or tape together some broomsticks and just you're good to go.
Look at that. He's all pouty again.
He's all serious again.
I know. Why is he so serious?
Do we need to like? I mean, they do we need like someone to tickle him from behind or something? Or?
Yeah. Whoever shows up the window can come in and.
Corey just says monopod was Kaiju's nickname in high school.
Wait. Would that mean you have like a big one, or I'm working that one out. Hold on, come back to me on that one.
So Darren says, Easy not to buy stuff when you only ever wear multicam to everything.
Was that a shot at me?
No, that was a shot at
David.
David.
Okay, it was a shot at David.
I love Darren. Darren's he's so hilarious.
No, I'm okay if that was a shot at me. I'm totally a multicam whore because it's cheap and I have a ton of it. I love it. Thank you, U.S. Army. All right, so let's dive into something here real quick.
So you mentioned that Titan Power was like a UAV company.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's correct.
So for those that aren't educated, what is UAV?
Yeah, so UAV, unmanned aerial vehicle. People just say UAV. It's drones. It's things that fly in the air.
Things that fly without a pilot in them, basically.
Well, they don't
Right.
call them UAVs anymore.
Where are they now?
No, they don't.
They call them like FPVs.
Yeah.
You know what we
That's
called
true.
them when I was a kid? We called them remote control helicopters. That's what we called them. RC
Yeah.
helicopters, RC cars.
Did you ever get like the big styrofoam airplane kit?
No, I wasn't that cool.
Oh, okay.
I think I was in that middle ground where like we had the GI Joe toys, which were badass, and so like my big toy that I wanted when I was a kid was the flag. The aircraft carrier from GI Joe. That was like my dream toy. I'm still hunting down one at this point.
Oh, nice.
But I can't find them for less than like $2,000.
For those of you out there that are watching or listening that have kids, go to Hobby Lobby, Michael's, whatever. Go get a model rocket kit and give it to your child and just watch the puzzled looks on their face. They'll be like, I don't understand. What is this?
Does this require tools? What do I do?
And then you go, take this egg and you have to put it in this rocket and it's got to land without breaking.
Did they ask you where you booted up? Because that's what my son asks all the time. He's like,
Oh, really?
How do you plug this in?
Where do you charge it?
Yeah, my kid turned 10. Ever since he turned 10, he's become a huge asshole. Like, he's totally moving right into the teenager phase. So, anyway, we're talking about UAVs, or what's the new term? FPVs now? Is that the term? FPV? Okay, things that fly but don't have a little pilot in them. Okay?
Right.
That's how we're going to define it. So that would be TS... No, I'm not doing that one. Titan started out doing UAV stuff. So
how long they been in business?
Since 2015.
So they're a
relatively
fairly
young.
young company.
I actually heard a really cool detail that maybe you could share with us. What is the big project that Titan hit the map for? Like that everybody would know them for? So
Titan actually worked with NASA for this crazy looking. I don't even know how you describe it. It's like a skeleton. It's like a skeletonized robot that crawls over things. We actually made batteries that fit inside the tubular design of the robot.
Is there one of those in space right now?
I don't know. But it's called a super ball bot. You can actually look up what they look like on YouTube. They're wild. Just
I've actually
NASA
seen it.
super ball bot.
It's a really cool design. It kind of reminds me of the Terror drones from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh,
like the little robots that Krang had. It reminds me of those, or mouse bots almost, like what the mouse bots became in the new series. Very cool looking.
So it was actually that design inside they couldn't find a battery that had the discharge capacity or the discharge and the capacity that they needed. And so, Trent got a phone call one day and he's like, yeah, sure, we'll do it. And he hung up the phone and he's like, I don't know how we're going to do it, so that project finished. This was before I was around, and that actually spawned the idea of airsoft batteries, because at the time somebody was in the office, they saw the type of battery he was working with, and he said, you know what, this would fit inside an airsoft buffer tube. And Trent was like, what's airsoft? And that's, that kind of snowballed into him showing up at the game and meeting me at the Overwatch Tactics game and saying.
And it had nothing to do with Tony Patton. I
want
to say that up front.
That's not technically untrue.
Not technically untrue. I like.
Don't inflate Tony's ego right now. He's watching.
Yeah. No, Tony was a big part of Titan starting. He had helped quite a bit, actually.
What's actually really funny about Titan's batteries using lithium ion that I always think is funny is that a lot of people have heard the story about UAVs. I know some people have heard the NASA story, but the other place that you find lithium ion batteries, vape rigs.
Yep, that's true.
Your phone.
Well.
Yep. Well, so now when we start talking about things like phones, it's interesting because all LiPo batteries are technically also lithium ion. Lithium polymer is a subset of lithium ion, but what we're talking about is the steel cased lithium ion cells, in specifically 18650s.
Hold on, let me stop you right there. So real quickly, and I'm not saying this because maybe I don't understand the difference, but for anybody who's uneducated in our audience, can you run us through real quick, besides the capabilities, because everybody kind of knows that with a Lion versus a LiPo and a NiCad or a NIM, what actually is the substance's difference between a LiPo and a Lion battery? Sure.
So with a lithium-ion steel-cased battery, you can actually cut it open. Never do this, by the way, but in a safe environment. Yeah, you just don't do this. But if you were to do it, you could cut it open and it would kind of unroll like a cinnamon roll. A lithium polymer, it's a plastic battery, as you guys know. You can kind of push on it. It's plastic and it has a liquid internal subset.
So it's a solid battery versus a liquid battery.
That's the easiest way to explain it.
Okay. Yeah. No, that works. I mean, no, because mostly and I'll admit this, I kind of know the chemical differences between them, but construction and stuff, it's good to always hear when you talk to an expert on something that works with it every day, it always get that super simple layman's explanation, dumb it down as far as possible.
Because he's probably had to explain it a lot.
Oh, I'm fucking stealing this. In 9 days, I'm going to be stealing this explanation for everybody who comes by the booth. If you don't think this is training for SHOT Show, you're dumb.
So, in what situations would you recommend a LiPo over a Li-ion or a Li-ion over a LiPo?
So, you would go with lithium-ion if you are tired of puffing batteries, if you're tired of when a battery dies, it's completely dead, and if you're tired of it not having any kind of shelf life at all. Lithium-ion is actually...
Wait. So if you're too lazy to actually properly take care of your battery, go lithium-ion. That's what he's saying.
Okay, so for you guys, if you guys don't know one of the main differences between your two hosts right here, this is Mr. AR and this is Mr. AK. Now, it doesn't mean I like AKs. That's our philosophy. He takes care of his shit and maintains it and all that stuff. I throw my shit in a bag and then grab it out the next time we go to an event.
You guys should see it when we go to an event.
It's just a pile of shit.
And I'm like, dude, fold that before you put it back in the thing.
No, fuck it. I'm good.
Don't tear it open. Put it back in the box.
Rugged, reliable shit that requires no thinking about things. I just want to put it in, plug it into something else, go play airsoft, and throw it in a bag. So, if you're that AK kind of guy, Lion solves a lot of those problems for you if you're not as thoughtful as some people.
Yeah.
So, when would you choose a LiPo over a Li-ion?
Traditionally, I would have answered if you have a gun that is ultra modified, that requires a high C rating, that maybe a lithium ion can't support. However, plugging for SHOT Show content, we have some new stuff coming out that I can't say just yet. That's not necessarily true anymore.
Okay. So let me educate you here, Matt. The show is where people release information first that have never been released before.
This is your chance to tease it for a small, not that small, a large select audience.
A lot of our viewers, they're airsofters. They're not dealers. They're not going to be at SHOT Show. Is it okay? At least, is it a battery?
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, actually, let's go with this. How about this? If you generate interest from airsofters on our show before you go release it to the dealers are already going to be asking for it, generating your interest.
That's true.
Little marketing 101 right there.
The common, what's the best way to put this? The common understanding that a high discharge LiPo is better than a lithium ion in airsoft will no longer be true after SHOT Show week.
And I just muted him so nobody else heard that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
So you guys are basically solving the lithium ion size barrier is what you guys are going after. Did I hear that right?
We're not solving the size barrier. The lithium ion size barrier is a real one because everybody in the lithium ion space is going bigger. You look at Tesla and some of these electric vehicles that are coming out, everybody's going with a bigger cell. Nobody's really going smaller. So we are restricted to a cell that is 18 millimeters in diameter by 65 millimeters tall, hence the term 18650. They make 16 450s and smaller batteries of all kinds, but none of them have the discharge capabilities of an 18650. And so we're restricted to that specific size, at least for now.
Yeah. And, it's kind of cool that they're kind of bringing back the crane stock.
I don't think it should have gone anywhere. I like the crane stock.
Oh yeah. Well, it's so funny. It's like it's too wide. I can't get a good cheek to stock weld. I'm like,
you mean that cheek
The
pad that's
purpose
right
of it
there
is
to give you the cheek weld?
Yeah.
The cheek
I know,
pad.
right?
That's the purpose.
I think people just don't know how to shoulder a rifle properly.
okay, we got a guy in the chat, Dice Airsoft, David in Canada says, "Sorry I'm late, bros. Had to do a 6-tire changeover on a bus as a last-minute job at work."
Oh, I already gave him a high five. That
Dude,
was awesome.
and he's here watching the show, man.
He actually
we love
is
you.
driving
We
home
love you,
while
Dave.
he's painting and listening to us at the same time. He told me he can't actually listen to the show unless he's painting, so that leads to some dangerous driving on his way home if he's late. So I appreciate it, David.
Oh, so yeah, you've piqued Lucky Branch's interest. DSG capable battery?
Ooh.
Question mark. So okay, well here's a question. So you probably deal a lot with this, Matt, because I know I do. Where you get somebody new to the sport, they buy just a regular, we'll say, $200 price point airsoft gun, right? I won't say anybody, just $200 price point, okay? Yeah. And they literally throw the highest discharge LiPo battery they can into this gun. What would you say about that?
It's probably the wrong move.
I love him. He's so simple.
More is not better. Are you saying more is not better?
Well, now let's talk about what I would do, because I used to do that. And
I think we all used to do that at one point.
It doesn't. It prematurely ends your gun's life at a certain point in time, whether or not that's your first trigger pull or 6 months down the road. Anything that is rotating that gearbox faster than what it was before
everything
is degrading
has
the life.
Everything has a life cycle.
Right.
You're just getting it there, kind of like the infantry. You look a lot older when you get out of the infantry.
Ooh, that hits a little close to home.
I know, right?
Mostly because I was looking in the mirror today and I noticed I didn't have just like the center whiteness. I now have cheek whiteness all the way down and center whiteness.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling particularly old today.
So, and a lot of kids, it's like you show them a 7.4 and 11.1, and they're like 11.1, 11.1, 11.1. I'm like, you've never tried a 7.4 before, have you?
Well, I think the big problem is people don't understand how electricity works.
Right.
Like, because, and I think people forget that, like, the difference between a 7.4 and 11.1 is just, to use the best analogy I can think of, is you have a pitcher of water, right? And so whether you have a large pitcher of water or a small pitcher of water, if the opening on the side of the pitcher is the same amount of water comes out no matter what. So if you have a giant 500 volt battery and the source you're powering only draws 1 volt, 1 volt is all that matters. Those other 400 volts are just sitting there waiting for something to happen. And if you don't have some kind of way to regulate that as a nozzle on your water pitcher, if you like our continuing with our analogy, you are just going to eventually that water pressure is going to bust out of that hole and ruin everything else. Is that a good analogy? Does that make sense? No?
What the hell did you do with Chris?
What are you talking about?
You just got smart all of a sudden.
I am kind of smart on the side. Like, I don't try to broadcast it,
he surprises me all the time. He's like an onion.
So just so everybody who doesn't quite understand how electricity works, just think of that analogy. Your total power the battery can provide can only be actually utilized if you have a big enough hole in the side of your pitcher, i.e. a source that draws that voltage.
Okay.
Something that's interesting to me is a lot of players don't know that a 7.4 in a lot of instances is actually better than a 9.6.
Ooh, please go down this road. I want this from the horse's mouth so I can stop hearing this from people. So go down this road.
It's different battery technology. Nickel metal hydride needs to die in a hole. In my opinion, it's very old technology. It's very slow technology.
It is.
It's also a good starter option.
It is.
It's
not, because you can't destroy it and cause fire from lack of knowledge of how to use it. That's the only reason why I still think it's good, because
and the price point for starters. It's the lowest price point you can get into an event.
It is, but I'm looking at it from a safety standpoint.
Yeah.
If somebody like brand new knows nothing about airsoft, knows nothing about plugging in things properly, I'm going to give them a nickel metal hydride first.
Yeah, because you can't hurt it. You just can't.
I do agree with that, but I also think that it's our responsibility to learn how to use the technology properly.
Ooh,
you don't
good
jump
counterpoint.
you don't jump in a car and drive it down the road without knowing where the brake pedal is, right? So like, you
Well,
shouldn't
some
be
people do.
Well,
No,
I don't know how
not
long
a
you-
car. A lot of people will jump on a motorcycle because they want to and they don't know how to drive it.
If you guys want to see great examples of that, look up Whiskey Throttle on YouTube. So if you guys
Yes.
don't know what a whiskey throttle is, when people panic on a motorcycle, they forget that the gas pedal is right here. So they rear back, give it full power, and now they go from having just being barely out of control to being very, very out of control. And
And
it's
once you
great
get
to
out of
watch.
control, you're like trying to hang on to the handlebars,
yeah.
which further pulls the acceleration.
So 7.4.
Yeah. So, it's lithium technology in batteries is going to be better for rate of fire, trigger response, and longevity in a lot of ways. So when you compare a 9.6 volt nickel metal to a 7.4 lithium battery, even though the number is less, in a lot of cases, now your milliamps matters too, but in a lot of cases, your 7.4 is going to be better than a 9.6, and of course the 11.1 is going to be better on top of that.
But
it's
7.4 is lower. Why is lower better than a bigger number?
Oh my gosh.
No, I mean, seriously.
I know.
though,
People don't understand.
No, I mean, I'm trying to ask this from the dumbest perspective possible.
So my son Spaz, his first gun was an Ares Amoeba, and I gave him a 7.4 PEC battery, like a 1300 7.4, because I knew he wasn't going to destroy the gun. It could keep up with his trigger, response. I mean, and
Well, not only that, a lot of new players, like especially with my son, one thing I had to teach him is I started teaching him kind of real trigger control marksmanship, where you actually pull back to the brake and release. And on some guns, if you're not careful, you can leave those trigger contacts enabled when you're starting out, and that'll burn up that gun right there, just because that's still power going through. There's not much technology; it's just pieces of metal touching each other on the other end of the trigger. It's not, there's nothing special there, So
Right.
no, definitely it is a way better idea for a new. I mean, yes, I totally can see why you're making the statement that nickel metal hydride needs to go. But at the same, but at the same time, when you look at the price point, I mean, I personally run Lions, and that's kind of the highest price point you're going to get to. Probably, I think we're averaging around $40 in the market for Lions right now.
35, $40.
You're looking at about $25 for a lipo, give or take, between 15 or 25 depending on the size. And NiCads you can find for as little as $8 to $10.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so from a price point, from a safety point, I mean, it's kind of like the idea of giving your kid a Ford Escort and not a Ferrari.
So
Like they can't. You can't actually hurt yourself in that car. That's kind
normally
of
what I do when I buy a brand new airsoft gun out of the box, I'll run 7.4s until the life cycle of the gearbox goes kaput. Then I'll send it to Fatco or X Customs or whoever to upgrade it. Then I'll start running be MOSFET at 11.1 because now the gearbox internals
are set for that voltage.
exactly
Because-
and people typically they go to the other way around.
Yeah, I was about to say that because most people think you're building to the hop up or the barrel. What you're actually building to is the energy delivery. It's kind of it's once you get the battery and motor right, everything else is a supporting mod essentially. Once you get past that, I mean honestly.
Woodcock's in here. He says he and I used to watch guys wreck every weekend trying to keep up with us back in the day. We would go riding up in the mountains on our motorcycles, and literally, what was it, Woodcock? Number one rule was, don't try to keep up with us. And literally, all of a sudden, they would just disappear.
See my face, audience, is all I'm saying. I didn't see it. I've never seen him on a motorcycle. I don't believe it.
See, I said Fatco Customs, and Ryan Dean shows up.
Ooh,
How did
room
that
full
happen?
of sexy hot ladies. Does that work? No. $1 million. No, God, it only works with Ryan. How does that?
I know, right?
Our powers are incomplete. So, going back to our discussion, brother. Besides sizing issues, is there? I mean, it basically we were talking about the chat was talking about DSG builds and Lions being not the best choice for that. Why would a LiPo be a better choice in a DSG build? I mean, is it just discharge, or can you walk me through why that would be?
So DSG first is dual sector gear.
I know. Sorry.
So you're looking at a high amount of rounds per second because that thing is spinning very fast and it needs a lot of oomph to get it that fast. So Matt, continue.
So, again, man, I'm going to bring up Rob, you're going to understand the C rating myth. Can we talk about C rating for a second?
One of my favorite parts of Airsoft Con this year was when you fucking blew that myth right out the door. So please do it one more time.
So you got to first say the formula first so people understand.
So, okay. So everybody knows that C rating is on a battery, and for the longest time we've used that as a performance metric. C rating is only part of the equation. So your voltage matters, your milliamps matter, and C is really, it is technically an equation, Rob, like you're right, but it doesn't really even work for airsoft because it's determining your constant amp output, and there's not an airsoft gun in the world that uses constant output. Like a UAV floating in the air is using constant output to keep it in the air. But even if you're full autoing an airsoft gun, the variation in your trigger is not. It's not. I mean, it's almost a burst rating, and so
it's kind of like one of those things that's we created our own circumstance by putting C ratings on batteries, and so we've kind of programmed people to think in a certain, because we can't control what they think, and they just assume higher C rating the better. And it's kind of like C rating to me is kind of like bio BBs. It's just we didn't know back in the day, we didn't know what to call a non-plastic
one of those
BB, and so now it's been like a socially accepted convention, and it's kind of like the same for the C rating. It's like, because we put it on packaging and then people just started, they didn't, like Matt says, they didn't understand it and they just started making up their own.
Well, it's like
it almost needs to be an airsoft version of the C rating, which it's also completely unregulated. So like your amp output is what really matters. But C rating as a whole, anybody can put whatever they want on the package and claim that is their C rating, and that's just not it. For all intents and purposes, if you're an airsoft player, just pick a battery and it's probably fine, especially if it's airsoft branded. That means that whichever brand that you went with did their research to know that this is good for most airsoft guns, and you should just use it. And
that's a good shopping tip right there.
Yeah. And if you're into the Fatco builds and the X Customs and the umbrellas and things like that, chances are you're smart enough then to know which battery you should use. And if you're not, and you're getting it from Ryan Dean or some of these guys, they'll tell you which one to do.
Airsoft Darwinism right there.
Because
the weak will fall.
So, I bet Ryan could probably attest to this because he's watching. Chad Dolce Carter, E-Celeb in the house. Chad Carter was a paintball, but he was actually a Dolce model.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was.
Like
true
Dolce
story.
& Gabbana?
Yes.
Like D&G?
Yes.
Like the belts and purses and
yes.
stuff? Ooh.
So
he must be a very sexy man.
When you order a custom gun, please ask the tech or the company that's doing this for you what battery they recommend, and listen to them and buy the exact battery. Please.
Yep. You know what actually I think is an even better route when you're getting something made by someone who knows more than you? Tell them what you want to use it for and then just ask how much. That's how I like to go to people who build custom stuff, because the reason I'm paying them money is they know more than me, so I just do what they say. You know what I mean? Like otherwise it's why are you wasting your money if you think you're smarter?
Woodcock is saying bad words again.
Is he really?
Yeah, don't repeat it.
Is that crit value like from D&D? Is that if you have a critical hit? Is that what he's talking about?
That's not how it's spelled.
Oh, did I get it wrong?
Yeah,
Did I replace the wrong
totally
wrong letter there? Okay.
You totally got it wrong.
Did he roll a 20/20 die on that one?
No, he did not. He did not.
So,
okay.
Okay,
so
this is degenerated a little bit.
No. I mean, it's good education, because that's what we're here for, because when we're at an event, Matt, you've been to a lot of events. I've been to a lot of events.
Right.
Chris is,
Kind of into some events.
yes,
Kind of.
It's the number one question we always get is like, what's new? What's new? But nobody really asks like good questions to get educated.
Well, the crazy
Right.
thing is when someone asks me like what's new and cool for me is completely different from what's new and cool for a newer player.
The number one question
what I
that
mean?
Woodcock gets on Instagram,
What gun should I get?
What gun should I get? So everybody go to Woodcock_Stone on Instagram and DM him and ask
What is the best
what's
gun?
the best airsoft gun?
And make sure when you
What's the
send him
first
a
gun I
DM,
should
you
get?
put a picture of your gun collection with it. That'll get his attention. It's very important. Especially if you have anything that's skeletonized. He loves that.
Denny Woo's watching.
Oh, are we circling back around to C rating? Or
Is he-
we're in the chat. I'm lost.
I'm
You guys
sorry.
hear me?
Did you?
Yeah, we
ADD
can hear
real
you,
quick?
Matt.
Okay, sorry.
cool.
No, I just like Denny Woo's in the chat, and I was like, "Ooh, Denny Woo!"
You had like a Barracuda moment there. Ooh, shiny.
I know. So okay, so
So we were talking about C ratings.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
So let's circle back.
And
I
so-
think-
let's land that plane on the
What's
C.
so basically, like, just to sum this up for before we go too far down the rabbit hole on this.
Yeah.
What is the best? What's the combination of numbers the average player who is not running like a DSG Speedsoft crazy gun or some massive, 9,000 rounds a minute thing? Your standard player firing mostly single shot. What is your recommended battery setup for like your standard middle of the road, as we said from our previous example, like $200 airsoft gun that everybody should be using?
What's interesting is most of your airsoft guns that are not custom are pulling less than 30 amps at their highest peak. And so really, I mean, you can get away with a very low battery if you're okay with that slower trigger response.
Okay.
And we could really get into the science, but it would
And when we're talking slower triggers response,
We're talking milliseconds. You're
yeah,
barely going to
we're-
notice it.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, it's barely noticeable. So when we say it's like the term cheap.
Yeah.
People think it's just
It's
lower
just-
cost.
it's
No,
so much
it's
than cost,
it
not
is a
value.
slower response, but we're talking like
So
that big.
so basically, what you're implying to our audience is that a lot of people who go out there and put ridiculously powerful batteries in unmodified guns, it's like putting a giant brake kit on your little Escort. That's great; it'll stop real quick, but you're never going to get it going fast enough to need those brakes.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the analogy.
Yeah, I would say that's close enough. Yeah.
Okay,
do you
so don't overbuild your gun, guys. Start work your way up.
do you see a lot of this? They'll buy the highest 11-1 highest output battery they can get, and then they'll buy the literally cheapest bottom end lipo charger like on the market.
I've actually, yes, getting a quality charger is a good one, but I've actually seen more of the other way around. I see people buying $400 guns that are lipo ready, that are able to take some of these 11-1s and use the performance, and then because they spent all their budget on a higher end gun, then they throw a cheaper battery in it, and it's like you're doing it backwards,
That's like buying a Ferrari and then throwing in like
What
Yeah,
was it?
exactly.
like
Was
really bad gasoline.
Was it Master
Yeah,
P
yeah.
who said I have a brand new S class with a quarter tank of gas? I'm hood rich and it's all right. It's kind of the same. That's the airsoft version. $400. It's like you go buy some like $2,000 custom built gun, and then you go to Walmart and pick up yourself a 5,000 count of Crossman BBs to go in there. This should work out, right? Like this should be good. Yeah.
Chad
Okay.
Ansel says,
What did his say?
new and cool. Matt, what is the max milliamps I can get over my prototype Titan?
All right, you guys ready for a SHOT Show leak?
Okay, here we go.
I mean, Chad, he asked the question.
He busted you out.
Chad gets the answer. Chad's a good guy. So Chad's been a Tyrese Silverback, Anthony Patton a while back. I don't even think they technically know the inside component of their battery, but traditionally our batteries have been at the lowest 2600 milliamp. This is the first time I've said this publicly, but SHOT Show release, our smallest battery is going to be 3000 milliamps.
Ooh.
So we're getting a bit of an upgrade.
You heard it here first.
That's-
and if you missed it, sorry.
That's a big deal because I'm a lazy airsofter. I don't want to change batteries throughout the day. I just want to.
So-
and that's what I like about those big ones. I just put it in and I play all
Well,
weekend
that's the thing too. It's like I'm willing to buy a $40 battery
instead of like $3 $15
and
ones.
I don't have to. I can go to a weekend event. I don't have to worry about finding a charger Saturday night to top it off. I mean, I can literally run the whole weekend.
A couple points to this. Not only is the capacity getting bigger, but our size is actually staying the same. It's actually going down by a couple decimals of a millimeter smaller. The player's not going to be able to notice, but we are going smaller even with the increased space. We're also keeping it at the exact same price point. And so it's upgrading the storage capacity while making it a little bit smaller and keeping the same price, because we really think that lithium ion should be a part of your kit, not a consumable.
So here's a tough question with that if you've done the research yet. Because I heard some really good round count numbers the last time we talked about that big boy PEC battery box you guys were getting. Have you guys started testing yet? Maybe can hint at some round count numbers, how many rounds you got out of it?
Well, hold on. Before he answers that question. To me, that doesn't matter because there's no airsofter in the world that counts their BBs.
No.
They have no idea how many bottles they put through because at the end of the day, all that matters is, does the battery charging cycle exceed the life cycle of that gearbox? That's what matters.
Ooh, that's a very interesting point. I didn't think about it that way.
Yep.
I just like general numbers normally.
Well, it's kind of like 200 feet. An airsoft player doesn't understand what 200 feet is.
Still too much of like
and so you could tell them 60,000 rounds, and they're like, ooh, but they have no clue what 60,000 rounds is.
Yeah, I think I forget that sometimes I still think like Sergeant Seltz and not Chris, the guy who plays Nerd Sports in the Woods.
Because a lot of people don't realize, like when we, like us, Titan, when we go through testing for something like a battery or just any kind of platform, you put it in an apparatus, and where it pulls the trigger once or twice every second for like 10,000 shots.
Do we have one of those apparatuses?
Yes,
because
we
you
do.
told me I had to just do it with my hand. Was that like a hazing
Because
thing?
it was a hazing
I just
thing.
want to make sure.
Sorry, I'm sorry I interrupted, Matt.
I assume it's somewhere in the warehouse, but I wasn't allowed to use it, so I'm logging a formal workers' comp claim right now for this little trigger finger right here. Just we're talking like it's gonna like because I know I get a big event from my 2600, so we can more. You can. This is going to be the amount of capacity you're going to need for someone who's running anything that they're firing rapid fire for a whole weekend long event, maybe.
Well, that's true. Too. Like Virus says in the chat, Alex Francisco, he says he played 2 AMS events on the same battery, but you also got to take into account is he a BB whore? What's his style?
Yeah, that is a good
stuff
point,
like that.
because if he's running an LMG compared to like a rifle, or maybe he's running a hotter gun or a lighter gun. Yeah, there's a lot of factors there.
Yeah.
So
I'd be curious from Alex. You played 2 AMS events on the same battery. What gun was it, and how was your shooting style? That's important too. Because we don't want to paint. What am I trying to say?
So basically what you're saying is that
I don't want to present an unrealistic expectation for somebody that's not educated.
With prejudice that we built in because we assume certain things, we give people data. They may not have the same assumptions or prejudices when they are receiving the same data.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I get you. It's a translation of experience issue.
Because we all know, Matt, you can attest, airsofters, they only repeat what they hear.
No, they don't repeat what they hear because airsofters don't hear anything. They repeat what they read on Reddit and
on
Facebook, and then they just repeat that over and over again. That's how it works.
So Dice Airsoft has a question. Matt, have you ever done winter cold weather testing on the Titan batteries? Not like just putting it in a freezer, but actually leaving it outside in the cold because it's minus 25 Celsius in Canada right now.
Well, before he answers that, I actually can give you some data. I was out with my Titan Power in my gun about 3-4 weeks ago, and it was definitely like 15 degrees outside. Ran all day, just fine.
Yeah.
So that's my personal anecdotal experience.
Yeah, Chris is right. If you want to compare it, it is definitely better than nickel metal hydride in the cold by a considerable amount. And a lipo, it's almost identical to lipo. Lipo on paper actually beats it by a little bit, but it's such a small difference that the player doesn't notice. And if you're investing in a quality battery and not a cheap battery, it will perform.
So Virus actually says he was using a VFC Avalon, put about 7,000 rounds over 2 events. Silverback put 20,000 rounds at Copperhead 4.
Nice.
Let's talk about this for a second. So every single gun is different. Even the same manufacturer gun, if you take one from one batch and one from another batch, they're going to be different somewhat. The gun that Virus is running, the Avalon, he's using semi-auto only. Semi-auto pulls more power over time than a full auto does because it has an initial ramp up and then it comes back down.
Ooh, that's so can you repeat that real quick? So full auto is actually easier on the battery than single shot, is what you're saying.
Essentially, yes, because you have to get that motor turning. It's like getting a car to start from a stop. It's once that motor's turning, it's using less energy, and so
it's also better on the internal parts.
Yeah, and I've definitely heard some people saying not those things, and I always like to reiterate those Mythbuster type things. Take that, Airsoft Club.
Now, Chad Ansel has a full auto stoner that Stampede Airsoft built custom.
Stampede, and shout out.
Shelly and Troy.
Shelly and Troy are very, very good at what they do. And so Chad's able to get more efficient rounds downrange because he's using those full auto by a custom build.
Oh, by the way, my MP5 is a Stampede.
I know.
Nice.
Custom.
I know. You've been.
I know.
I haven't.
Anytime I can bring that up, I just want to bring that.
Yeah.
up.
So
what's that, Matt?
Is that the one that they put on their page the other day that said it looks normal, but it's actually got some special stuff inside?
No,
they featured your gun, or was it somebody else's?
I think it was somebody else's. They upgraded mine at Fold a Gap.
Mine hasn't. I mean, what he's doing right now is he's screwing with me because I haven't been able to get mine out to Fatco yet because that's who's doing mine, and I just haven't had other shit going on, and sometimes real life comes in the way of airsoft purchases, if you know what I mean. Like you discovered that there's no tread on the tires on your truck, and so that's $800 down the drain. But I will get it out, and then I will blow up Instagram with that I will officially be a Fatco owner, and everybody else can suck it.
Oh my goodness. We haven't touched on it yet.
What did we miss? Did we miss something on this list?
I mean, we've talked about a lot of education: 7.4s versus 9.6s, lithium ions.
Hold on, let me get down the list real quick. And see what we
C rating versus amps. Now, this I think this will probably finish out our battery discussion. But what is the advantages of a T connector over a Tamiya?
Oh, I knew it was coming.
Yes.
Knew it was coming.
Oh, look at Matt. He all perked up. He's like, I'm ready to play racquetball now.
The sticker's going to show up. He's going to have a sign. There's going to be like a chant. Yeah. People show up in the background. He's been waiting all night for this.
This discussion is awesome. So, let's start with the Tamiya connector. For those listening that aren't sure about your connectors, Tamiya is typically the kind of the smoke-colored, sometimes yellow-looking plastic connector with a clip on the top that goes in. It's standard on most airsoft guns. And then you have the T-plug connector, which is typically red. It's also called a Dean's connector, but let's take a step back. T-plug, Dean's, same thing.
So that's like Q-tip and cotton swab kind of deal, or like hot tub and
Dean's
jacuzzi.
is a trademark. Yeah, right. Yeah. So Dean's is a trademarked name. T-plug is what it is. So when you hear T-plug connector, it doesn't stand for Tamiya plug. It stands for T-plug.
Okay.
Because it looks like a T. I don't have one here, but
I actually did the exact same thing. I looked around the shop while you started talking about it, and I was like, "Oh, do we?
Hold on.
Do you have a T-plug?
Keep talking.
Okay, hold on. We'll have examples coming. Keep going. Keep explaining.
Okay, cool. So typically, airsoft guns have come with the Tamiya connector because it has been around forever, and it really started in the 80s, I guess. Tokyo Marui put the plug on, and so everybody else put the plug on, right?
Well, because Tokyo Marui is our Lord and Savior, right?
Right.
Everything they do, we must follow in every way. Did I get all that right?
Yeah, pretty much. So the Tamiya connector is a Japanese connector. Because it originated with TM, everybody followed, and we just haven't transitioned. It's still the standard. a T-plug is actually better in so many ways.
You guys can see there's a T-plug right in front of the camera. We're doing our best for special effects. Yeah, we have one on the screen right now.
Cool.
If you could just rotate that for the people at home.
It's actually the T-plug that Titan uses on their batteries.
Oh, so it's the official Titan T-plug.
Yes.
Oh,
yep.
It's official.
Which we'll get to here in a second, I'm sure. But the T-plug connector has a myriad of benefits, and Ryan Dean and some of these Fatco and X Customs and some of these guys know this is a very common thing to do when you upgrade a gun. In fact, I would say that it should almost be the first thing that you do when you start talking about upgrading your gun, because it's very simple and it provides so much benefits.
And I'm not speaking from experience, but someone might have taken apart a whole gun down to the trigger assembly because he didn't realize that one of the wires had pulled out of the Tamiya plug and could have been fixed with just a pair of pliers. So don't be that guy. If it doesn't have power, make sure the connectors are actually in the plug.
Well, the way those... What's the technical term for those little silver caps on a Tamiya connector?
I don't
want to say spay connectors because that's not a spay connector, but it's so easy for those two little silver bullets to get misaligned,
especially like your wire gets caught up on like a crane stock and like when you're extending it, you don't realize it, and then it strips them out of the plug. There's a million ways it can happen.
Or somebody doesn't realize that one's a circle, one's a square,
and they just jam them together like a mongoloid.
Red R, red for round. You put the red one back in the round one. But I really like these T connectors. One, because the red ones, they're smooth and slick, but these black ones, they actually have these ridges on them. It's so I feel confident grabbing the connector and not the wires.
You could just never like put it in the wrong way. There's just one more weird shape.
No, I'm just saying coming out.
Oh, okay.
Like disconnecting, because how many times I slip on a red one and like yank the wire and I'm like, did I just disconnect it?
Don't do that. Don't do that. So walk us through your.
Hold on. Actually, I have a question for him real quick, because Dice Airsoft is talking about better conductivity, lower resistance. One thing I would wish that every manufacturer would get rid of is the copper connectors in the trigger shuttle. Literally, that builds up so much heat, and it's such an old. But people still, everybody uses it.
I hate to use this analogy, but it works. It's like the Chevy 350 small.
No, it works.
It's like.
But with this increase in battery tech, okay, there's heat displacement, and when something that's still antiquated, that's typically the number one thing that shorts out MOSFETs or good MOSFETs to turn them off, is too much heat is being generated.
Well, and not only is it too much heat, but anytime that heat is generated, that is power loss, right?
Yeah. So heat is energy. So if you're making stuff hot, that means electricity is going where it's not supposed to. So that's energy loss. So walk us through. So we talked about some of the negatives of the Tamiyas. Walk us through the big bullet points on the advantages to the T connector.
Sure. So, the T connectors and newer technology, they really, I don't know the story behind creating the T plug connector, but I would imagine it was looking at other connectors, figuring out how it was better. They're actually smaller, but have more surfaced area for the electricity to flow.
Which you can see when you're looking at the arms, because on a Tamiya, you guys can't see me, but
because typically it's 16 gauge wire?
Well, you think about a Tamiya, it kind of looks like the space capsules from the 70s docking with each other.
Oh yeah.
It's just like the tips touching each other. But like a T-plug is a handshake. It's two big pieces of metal interacting all the way from start to finish. So that's a way better connection.
Interesting statistic for you guys. A T-plug actually has 60% less resistance over a Tamiya connector. So if you're looking at getting a better trigger response or fire rate, you're losing a whole lot with that Tamiya connector. If you change over to T-plug, you're getting 60% less resistance.
So it's like taking that bag of concrete out of the trunk of your car. Instead of giving it 1 million horsepower, you just take all your grandma's bowling balls out of it, and suddenly it goes faster, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. Stop the resistance.
Tell us about the T connector initiative.
Ooh.
Sure.
Is this like a secret government program that's kidnapping people?
So I want everybody that can to go right now to the website that I'm plugging, airsofttplug.com.
We know if
because
you're
then
not
they
doing
would go
it.
away from the show.
Yeah, they have to do it after the show.
Okay.
I'll post
After
it
the
in the
show.
chat so they have reference. So it's
Okay.
what is it? It's W what?
All right. Airsofttplug.com.
Airsofttplug.com.
And actually, I've seen.
And why haven't we tagged Ronald? I'm going to tag
So
Ronald.
Ronald is probably sleeping. I think he said he wasn't going to make the show, but you can tag him.
I'm bomb tagging the mess out of him
Do
right
it.
now because I love him so much.
So
Do it.
once they get to airsoftplug.com, what are they supposed to do when they're there? Is there a.
So, okay, let's back up a few steps. So airsofttplug.com is an initiative that Ronald, as we spoke about, from Europe, and maybe the blog that some of you guys have heard of, NL Airsoft, one of the world's largest airsoft blogs, actually created this initiative, and we're helping them out with
Spreading the
substantially, is spreading the word that the T-plug connector is better than Tamiya. And so if you also agree that the T-plug is better than Tamiya, you should go to that website, sign the petition showing your support, because we're trying to get manufacturers to see that this is most manufacturers at this point know that it's a better option, but nobody's willing to take the first step in changing.
Have you signed the petition, Chris? I signed it on day one.
I did. I'm pretty sure I did.
You're pretty sure?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I sign a lot of things without reading them. So I mean, it could have been power of attorney to Matt. I don't know. He just put shit in front of me and I signed it. So I mean, like, but yeah. Actually, I've noticed when we talk to
Tim.
No, not
Sargent?
Tim. Yes, Tim Sargent. Sorry.
Yes, it is Tim.
I know. There's too many Tims and Johns. Everybody who's named Tim and John, pick a new first name.
Because
There's too many.
Crytek is the first manufacturer.
We found
That is
out
true.
they are the first ones that are going to be shipping with T-plugs.
And it's the same
correct.
black T-plug connectors that Titan uses on their batteries.
So you guys are actually making an impact with this program, and looks like some people are actually going along with it. So
We certainly are. So we have a lot of supporters, and something that we heard whenever we started speaking with manufacturers about this was the availability of T-plugs were spotty, or they were too pricey, or their minimum order quantity was too high. And so we really hit that, kind of spearheaded that by Titan creates their own T-plug connectors. And so we're able to provide T-plug connectors that are an exact copy of the original W.S. Dean's patent that is now expired. We have the original T-plug design and the original T-plug components put together so that compatibility is correct. And we're able to provide those to manufacturers worldwide with zero minimum order quantity at a cost that will not increase over inflation for the next 5 years.
just to cut
And
you off for a second,
worldwide.
before the internet trolls lose their mind, when he's talking about patents expiring, that's how our patent system works, is that the patent protects your intellectual property for a certain amount of time so you can make money off it. But then the general idea of this is that after a certain amount of time, it's the general public, so everybody can produce it. So when you hear some of this patent stuff, don't automatically go to the crazy forum place of, oh my God, they're stealing everybody's stuff. They're not. This is just how patent law works. Once things become public domain, they get cheap for everybody.
And sometimes, because there was a time where people would just put patent pending.
Yep.
But their patent never got granted, but they just leave patent pending on their packaging.
So something else to talk about is not all T-plug connectors are created equally. So there's definitely clones. There's definitely clones of the Dean's connector. And although we
I'm
technically,
thinking Star Wars.
Are they all
Although
made
we-
from that one New Zealand actor who shows up in all the movies? Is that what you based your T-plug on?
yeah, exactly.
How long does it take to age a T-plug to maturity? Is it a full 18 years, or have you guys figured out a way to cut the time down on that?
It's much shorter. It's much shorter than that.
Sorry, we just like to have fun.
We dove into the
Yeah.
nerd a little hard there. Like, I was way
Yeah.
the deep end of the nerd pool there.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah.
continue, man. I don't want to keep cutting you off.
Yeah, so we're solving. Titan has solved all the problems that manufacturers have with switching to T-plug, except the player perspective. Now they can't talk about minimum order quantity. They can't talk about cost. They can't talk about availability. The only concern they have now is, I don't want to be the first one to do it. And so now looking at, will the players adopt and change? And I believe the answer is yes. It's a much better connector. We just need to educate them that the T-plug is a better connector, and manufacturers and players will all be together under this one awesome roof of one single connector, and it'll be amazing.
Well, and hold on, because one of the things I'm trying to convince the powers that be is, besides just the technical specs, the a company built on sales looks at sales. When they say, oh, well,
anytime you put a new part on a gun, that adds to the cost of the gun.
LiPo batteries with T connector sales, aren't that high. It's like our 9.6 NIM is our highest grossing battery, but I counter that with, but if we went to T plugs, had a transition year that actually came with a T connector to a Tamiya connector, but don't you think that our LiPo sales with T connectors would go up and be safer? Because here's the biggest thing. What's the number one cause of battery fires with LiPo batteries? It is somebody uneducated taking the Tamiya connector on a LiPo battery and plugging it into the Tamiya connector on a NIM charger because they think it goes the same.
Well,
you create a bomb when you do that.
Yeah. Right. So if we went to T connectors, technically batteries with T connector sales would go up, and there would be less battery fires because you're eliminating the stupid factor of people putting the wrong battery in the wrong charger.
Let me throw this at you. So where do most people get their style of airsoft from, for the most part? They get it from the first gun they get exposed to. Because a lot of people,
which is like air splat, or
well, think about it. Like you don't you think of what an airsoft gun should be, and that becomes your basis for airsoft stuff forever after that, and that's kind of your baseline. And we all kind of start in a different place. And so, kind of speaking from someone who is very recently just a pure player, my biggest concern to the changeover would be that I'm going to get stuck in that position where I have to remember what guns fit with what connector style. But if the guns, the way I look at it, the guns drive everything. If the guns come with the connector, people will then go buy the batteries because the gun's the most expensive component. So for me, what I want to buy to is my gun. I don't want to buy to my batteries. And so I think a lot of people, when they're talking about this, they're thinking of chicken and egg in reverse, the wrong way. Yep. They don't get that people buy what their guns have. So the more manufacturers that get on board with Dean's connectors, T connectors, whatever we're calling them, that means that will just get the desire for the Dean's T connector batteries. Much like if you want to sell a bunch of diesel when everybody's driving gas cars, probably the first step is getting people to buy diesel cars because no one needs to put diesel in their gas car. So you need to have the car that takes the gas to sell the gas. And I think a lot of people are saying, well, if battery sales are down here with them, but if the stuff's not on the market yet, the general public, most people aren't changing out the connectors on their gun.
No, there is a trend where a lot of people are changing out their connectors to T connectors, but they're doing it they're doing it themselves. And here's what's happening. Now you've just voided the warranty because do you have the proper tools to solder? Did you use the proper, paste and all this other stuff
and all that shit?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's if they came with it in the first place,
no one has to worry about it.
I know, right?
And you just go buy a battery that fits it, and you're good.
Let me interrupt you guys real quick, Rob.
Sure,
I want to touch on I want to touch on Rob's topic where he was saying, sales are highly in favor of Tamiya, and that's true. But it's our job to make it the other way. So what Chris is doing and what Titan will be doing and what other companies that we've talked to about these T-plug connectors are doing is for a year or 2 years or whatever they decide, they're providing that adapter so that it is a T-plug to Tamiya adapter so that you can then have your option. Because when you have a gun that is wired to Dean's and you use an adapter, that adapter then is the low point for your amperage, but it's only as low as the Tamiya connector. So it would technically be as if you had a Tamiya connector on that gun in the first place. But the biggest point that I can give, especially to Rob's comment about how Tamiya sales are higher, because they're higher with Titan too, is it's our job to educate the economy to buy the correct connector. And if that's the best way to do that is to provide that adapter and just a little tiny business card inside that says, hey, here's this adapter. We're really trying to switch everybody over to T-plug. Here's the reasons, and educate. Because if we don't educate the consumer, they're only going to buy what's highly available.
Well, mostly what I have to say is high five for taking what I would say the appropriate route in this. It seems that in the past, a lot of people who want to change things think that you have to burn it all down first. But no, and I mean,
Yeah.
like, and you really don't. Like, just because there's new technology being adopted, it's not about destroying the old technology. It's about finding your customers a pathway to that new technology so that you can sell the appropriate technology to them. They can buy the appropriate product, and everybody's better off in the end.
And it's also educating to the point where you create desire for your audience to come out of their comfort zone of what they've been programmed,
Especially if you do it for
by society or by the local player base or whatever, to because that's what's so hard. I see, and probably Matt, you probably see it too online, where you see these arguments online.
people.
They don't understand.
The strongest defender of an airsoft brand is never, and I'm not saying this in a negative way. I love where I work, and I have a great time working there. But the most hardcore defender of any airsoft brand is never going to be someone who works for that brand. And I don't mean that to say like reps aren't proud to work where they work. It's the fact that I have never talked to another rep that wanted to fight me over the fact that I said that, like, well, I like the rail on the Avalon better than the Crytek. You know what I mean? Like, no one's ever said that. But heaven forbid you get into two guys having an argument between my K-Dub's better than your Crytek, and someone might be throwing a blow at some point. Like, it's shocking.
Yeah.
You know
It
what I mean? Like,
it was so funny.
you have no skin in the game, and you're violent about it. You know?
Like, people thought like me and Matt didn't get along with the whole what was it?
Yeah.
March ish.
It was before. So March is whenever we met at Ewa and had the famous selfie at dinner. So it was before that.
Oh yeah. The people like, wait, Matt and Bob are in the same photo sitting.
Yeah.
And wait,
they don't hate each other.
I thought their companies hate. Why? Like, it's so funny. It's like we actually, when we get together, when it's just industry folks, when it's just us, we actually talk about the nonsense that other people are saying.
What's really funny is that like Bob's a big fan of professional wrestling, and I've gotten kind of back into it through hanging out with him. And actually, he took me to Raw, my first Raw in like 20 years, which was a blast, by the way. That was if you ever go, here's the big secret to go into professional wrestling: they only film it from one side of the stadium, so make sure you're on the side with the cameras. And all the action's directed towards you.
Yep.
Top tip, pro tip for you if you ever go. But even if you're not into wrestling, I just have to plug that. It is a great way to spend your evening. And I think, honestly, like, professional wrestling fans are less enthusiastic about the drama surrounding the ring than airsoft fans are about creating. I mean, honestly, this is more professional wrestling than professional wrestling. It's they're less serious than we are.
Henry Adkins says
That's not that hard of a name. Come on.
he says he does Matt's rewire work.
He does.
See, even Matt's not trustworthy to get inside a gun.
Yeah.
Go to someone who knows.
All right.
So before we move on to the next segment, is there anything you want to plug personally that you got coming up besides what's the new one coming up?
So you're going to be at SHOT. You're going to be at IWA. Any airsoft games you're excited about, being at in 2020?
Black Sight's coming up again. American
So
Milsim
speaking
Black
of which,
Sight.
what events are you going to be at this year? Are you going to be following American Milsim? Is there one company you're with, or how's that work?
So we'll be at every American Milsim game and any game we can get to in between.
Okay, cool. So if you need to see Matt and you want to find him, SHOT Show, IWA.
Or he just described where he works.
Yeah, if you're not dumb, you can probably match this picture to some geotag, and then you can go and bother him at his workplace. I would. Yeah. That's what I would do.
Ooh, it would be so funny if we went on Amazon and went to shitty merch and like sent stuff back to Matt.
Do you think they do this? Because I remember once, and I'm just going to tell a quick war story here. I'm sitting on radio guard at like 2 o'clock in the morning on this cop in Afghanistan in the middle of nowhere. And there's like 20 of us that live on this little 100-meter square of HESCO barriers. And so I'm doing a radio check, and I go, hey, my OP spotted something. And they go, where is it at? Give me the grid. And I proceed to read the grid for the company cop. And the guy on the other side reads it back to me. And then he goes, confirm, and I read it back to him. And you can hear him like put down the radio, there's enough time for him to put down the radio, walk over to the map, find the grid, come back and be like, are you sure about that grid? And I read it to him again, and finally, like, he's like, this grid seems very familiar. I'm like, it's your fucking 9-digit, dude. Like, middle of the night, some private, just tired out of his mind. So, yeah, just fun story. Anyway.
Matt's not asleep. He's just looking at his phone.
Yeah, he's texting.
I'm looking at my phone,
with all the ladies right now.
I just put a good shot show hint in the chat.
Ooh, nice. So, so you're gonna be at American Milsim events. You'll always be on vendor row. So, do you have any personal goals like for 2020? Like, you just got into the racquetball.
3 or 4 more businesses, maybe.
Yeah.
So whenever I left my corporate job, I told myself that I was going to try everything I had the opportunity for until I was 30 years old. And so
wait, you're not even 30 yet?
Nope, 26.
Oh God, I feel old as shit now. Okay, just keep going.
So I have 4 years. I'm going to try everything that I have the opportunity to try. And so I don't necessarily have any goals for 2020. Just whatever comes my way.
Awesome. So you going to stick around for the events?
Oh yeah, he is.
Oh, yeah.
I already told him.
Of course.
You told him you had to?
I have spoken.
Is that your new thing? I have spoken. You're just going to say that from now on?
Exactly.
I'm telling Adelaide about this. She'll shut that down.
So we're going to cut to a quick commercial break. Then we're going to talk about events. We got some cool events coming up, and we actually got a teaser video for an event coming up right at the end of the event segment.
So that's 2 big premieres. It's like, so we had some battery news. I can't say it out loud because it's in the chat. If I say it out loud,
I know, right?
Then it's not in the chat.
Then it's not in the chat and exclusive. So if you need to check the chat for the exclusive, and then we'll have a second exclusive at the end of the show.
Yes.
Very cool.
All right, so don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back after this quick commercial break.
Are we going? What's going on, guys? It's Nigel with Elite Force. Check out the Valken Debrief. Debrief? Try one more time. Check out my briefs.
Hey, I like my briefs.
Check out the briefs. What's going on, guys? Nigel with Elite Force. Check out the Valken Debrief every Thursday at 8 p.m.
Welcome back to the Valken Debrief Airsoft live show.
Livest show in Airsoft.
It
no
is.
one's liver than
Biggest
us.
budget.
Most viewers.
Most live viewers at any given time.
Actually, Gorilla has us beat for total age of hosts by like a lot. So
They're the longest running.
podcast. Well, no, I was going to add up all their ages and see. I was hoping we could claim to be the oldest in terms of total years, but I think they have us.
Oh
beat.
no!
Just,
as long
just
as
in
Beast
numbers.
is still on there, he's
what, 90, 100 years old at this point? He was born in World
Love you,
War
Jerry.
I, right?
So I'm the Kaiju.
This is Peltast.
And we are here with Matt Horner from
Titan Power. Shitty balloons.
Shitty merch.
Shitty merch, sorry.
Ozark shirts.
And what was the last
Interweb
one?
groups.
Interweb groups. And there's
then
one more coming out, which is like, I hate my friends or something.
I hate my friends.
I hate my friends. Did I get that right?
Yep.
Basically, if you have someone that annoys you, contact Matt and his friends. They have a... Oh, you know what I was thinking about that you guys haven't really included? I was looking at your product line. Your shirt should come with just a bunch of, glitter in between the folds.
Ooh,
so when you open it, it actually,
Dude.
like, think about just pulling the shirt out and spreading it out. Like, you're opening it from a box and it just throws glitter over all of you.
That would be good.
That would be
like
a
that.
true I hate my friends.
That would be epic. You should have the glitter bomb option with all your shirts.
Glitter is the herpes of the craft world.
It is.
Yeah.
It
my
is.
gosh.
And I like spreading it everywhere I go.
All right, so events.
Ooh, are we ready to do this? Okay,
Yep.
do I have my list?
You do.
Oh, there's notifications. A-Train's bothering me. All right, here we go. Starting us off. By the way, if you feel free to chime in with anything you know about these events, if you've been there and we haven't, there's a couple in your area. Operation Rochambeau, January 18th. It's an MSATO event.
That's next weekend.
It is. At the Strathmore Paper Mill in Russell, Massachusetts. Last I heard, they had less than 25 tickets left. Are they still short?
I have not checked to see if they're sold out yet.
Okay, so if you do not have your tickets and are thinking about going, please get on that because you might have missed your chance. So I don't even know why I'm saying it.
You talked about age too much.
Did I?
And Top is now watching. We love you, Top.
For you guys who don't know, I'm gonna cut in and tell a little story real quick, just because I love Top. Top was one of my first airsoft introductions, like period. Once I started coming to national events, and I remember everybody describing him is that you'd say just watch a broken home video, and there's a guy walking around yelling at everybody, fire and maneuver, fire and maneuver. And like I was like, okay, so where's this guy that yells that much? And all I met was this big old teddy bear, who was, he kind of was a little gruff. Now I may have different standards than normal people, because we are from the same brotherhood, but I didn't think he yelled that much. He was kind of soft spoken, Like I don't think that was a deserved reputation. Like he was very kind. He spoke just so everybody could hear him.
The first time I served as a company commander under Top was at Copperhead 1, and he and I just started yelling at each other in the middle of the open. But then after that, we were cool.
Yeah,
we figured it out.
If you wear the blue cord, well, actually, he doesn't have a blue cord. I don't know if the Marines have a special infantry.
No, he was a Marine.
Yeah, I don't know if they have a special anything for grunts over there. But when you wear the blue cord, you just understand stuff. Yeah. And the Marines understand too.
All right, back to events.
Moving on to events. Coming up after that, we got Battle for Los Angeles 2020. This is going to be the 31st to the 2nd of this month. Obviously, the 2nd of next month. Desert Fox is going to be holding this. Victorville, California, George Air Force Base. If you've seen the videos of the crumbled housing complexes, that's what this is. Break through walls, chase your friends around, and you can track each other with the awesome Desert Fox app while you're out there. So that's a lot of fun. Coming up after that, Operation Bone Strike 4. This is going to be February 21st to the 23rd. Third Coast is hosting this in Vicksburg, Mississippi. We're going to be there. Because this is actually going to be my first TCA event. What do you know about this, Matt?
Oh, have you guys not played at the hospital yet?
I have not.
Nope.
Oh man. Okay,
here's what you need to know.
Get very, very good at operating in the dark. It's very dark in there.
That's easy. I just white light the hell out of everybody.
I have a strobe that I like to throw down hallways. People don't see it.
We went with a group of 8, and we very quickly realized that we needed to run in 2 groups of 4. It's very tight hallways. You get separated from people. The hospital is an incredible game, but it's definitely difficult to navigate. So
nice.
So it's definitely going to be a case for Clear Eye Pro. Make sure you have a weapon light and nods if you're part of the Cool Guy Club.
Correct.
Not
oh no, like for nods, like you said, I stop at Love's, buy those little $1 clicky strobe flashlights and
just
go on a
roll
keychain
down the hallway.
Oh yeah, oh, dude's got nods. There goes 3 of those things.
Thinking about that, I didn't.
You're burning out my tubes. You give me $4,000. I'm like, nope, not happening.
You ever know those hand lights they sell, like the little clicky lights on the little tabs? Why does no one use those as dead lights? Because they come in like red and green and all that other stuff. That'd be a great dead light.
Because it would make sense.
I know.
What are you talking about?
The little like $5, like they come on keychain, the squeeze lights and stuff like that. They click on. Okay. You can click.
Yeah, because you can hold them on, or you can click the switch and they'll lock on. Yeah.
And so I don't know why people don't use those as dead lights. They're great.
Night eyes.
Night eyes, yeah.
Yeah, the night eyes, the little diamond-shaped ones.
But all you'd have to do is just put like one on each collar, and then just click them to strobe, and then no one would ever think you're still in the game. I mean, really, like it would take away all excuses. But yeah, come check us out. Come check TCA out. I'm really excited for my first TCA event. In fact, I haven't played airsoft in a while, so I'm just excited to go play airsoft. Period. Yeah. Who cares?
You just played last month.
That's a while.
Oh my god!
Come on. Jeez.
Sal with Third Coast Airsoft puts on a very good game. If you guys have an opportunity to do the tier 1s either Friday or Saturday night, I would definitely do it.
Okay, so that's like their version of the damn mission, I guess, right? Like the kind of scripted, correct. It's really hard, pay a little extra type mission.
Right.
Cool.
Right.
All right, coming up after that, we got Road to Kharkiv, February 21st to the 23rd. This is a Milsim West event at Hill 559. I have not been there, and I mostly the videos I've seen of Hill 559, it's got big rolling, looks like Scotland. I think is the best way to describe it. So if you're looking for that wet, moist, hilly experience, and with the full immersion, Kharkov's where it's at. Have you been out there yet, Matt?
I actually haven't. Dave with Airsoft Obsessed does a yearly game there, and we sponsored the event last year, but I wasn't able to make it out. I hear it's a really fun place to play.
Oh, cool. Mm-hmm. So definitely recommendations. Coming up after that, we got Operation Stonebreaker 2020. This is the 20th to the 22nd. This is Third Coast again at GTI in Barnwell. We'll be there. And this is actually going to be my first visit to GTI ever. I'm really, really stoked because I haven't been there yet.
That's a 24-hour drive, too. for
Is
us.
it?
Yep.
But we're like rocks.
It's a long ways.
No problems. So have you been there to GTI and you got any insights for us?
I've never been to GTI. I really want to go. I'm not going to be able to make this game either, so maybe one day.
And they have Little Birds at this one.
Oh, Little Birds?
Yeah.
I will not be partaking in Little Birds. Daddy
No?
doesn't like helicopters. No,
What?
So this is a funny little
So you know what that means, right, kids? I'm going to arrange it where he gets shoved into the Little Birds when he least
You gotta do
expects it.
You got to do it.
So I have to admit something to the audience here. I spent a good half of my career in the 101st Airborne, which is the only air assault division in the world, which means for you not in the know people out there, it means we ride around in helicopters. That's our thing. Like the 82nd falls out of the sky once and then they do their thing. We land, get up a bunch of times. I spent like almost 3 years in that division, and I am terrified of flying. All over Afghanistan, getting in and out of those birds, getting up and down on hills, going to OPs. I hated every fucking moment.
Oh, I'm terrified of heights, but I was a jump master.
Yeah, I know. I just hate helicopters. I'm terrified of flying.
There's something about, like for me, 200 feet and less, that freaks me out.
But above
10,000 feet, I'm like, not a problem.
So here's what really bothers me about helicopters, what I don't understand. Like, whenever the helicopter has smoke coming out of it or oil coming out of the engine, which is almost all the time on military aircraft, by the way, if you don't know, basically, if it's not leaking, that's when you get worried because it's out of the fluid then. But every time there was some problem with the aircraft, they just keep flying at like 2,000 feet. And I'd be like, last time I checked, this thing flies low. So if the engines fail, we just fall like 10 feet. Can't we just follow a road or something? But no, they're always like flying up here. That's why I like trucks. If they break down, you just get out and walk. There's no crash. I know I sound like a huge pussy sharing this, but
I'm getting you in the air. That's happening.
Oh, anyway.
All right, next.
So coming up after that, Saratov Insurgency, March 20th to the 22nd. Milsim West is holding this at Panthera Training Center in Old Fields, West Virginia. I think the Lindell brothers had a good rundown on this. They said that's a really interesting all bunch of stuff, houses, indoor, outdoor.
Dude, I've slept since then. I don't remember.
You don't at all?
No.
Okay. So, yeah, no, it's a good mix of stuff. It's someplace that hasn't been used a lot, and the Lindell brothers recommend. Do you know anything about this, Matt?
Never been.
Okay. Well, never mind. Moving on. But yeah, that's Milsim West once again. So if you want to dress up to the T, they got you. After that, ACS Airsoft is having their 7-year anniversary. This is on March 28th in the Appalachian region. ACS Airsoft event in West Paducah, Kentucky. And while you're there, please inquire on the Ham Festival. Lovely, lovely time. Happens around June. I only know that because Paducah, or however you want to pronounce it,
Paducah
is like 20 minutes northwest of Fort Campbell. So I actually went there a couple times. Small story.
Preston with ACS puts on a good event, so if anybody's in the area, definitely go to it.
Have you been to one?
Preston Robots.
Have you been to one?
I haven't, but Preston's a good friend of mine, and he tells me about the event. We have players, friends that go. They're I've always heard good things. So
I mean, 7-year anniversary. Nobody's in business that long unless they're doing something right.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't argue with that logic. I just can't.
Yeah.
Right.
It's our airsoft team's 11 years in running.
That's pretty impressive, my friend. Coming up after that. All right, here we go. Let's see if I can do it again for like the 9th time. Traición en Copán, March 27th to 29th. This is in the southern region. This is a blank Milsim event at Arena Training Facility in Blakely, Georgia. We're not even going to say their name on the show anymore. That's how secret this is. You have to go find out the name. You can't even just Google it.
Wow.
How do you like that? How do you like that, Franco?
Oh my god.
Yeah. So that is.
You're gonna get thrown into an alley at SHOT Show.
I will bring it. I'm fully recovered from my last surgery. I'm feeling flexible. Let's get busy. That's all I'm saying. If you're feeling froggy, come jump.
No, it won't be Javier. It'll be Bubba. Bubba will be a shot.
Oh, I'll take them all on. I don't give a crap. Goddamn it,
Rob, we're gonna be at the Milsim dinner and be like, "Where's Chris at?"
Just shows up. I'm gonna need 2 shots and a beer and
before I forget. Rich Gully asked way back when, "Where is Titan gonna be at SHOT Show?"
Ooh, that's a good point.
Oh man, I can't believe we haven't talked about this yet. We'll be in the EVIC gun range booth. That's 3025. So cool. EVIC 3025.
And EVIC has 2 booths. Okay,
Yep.
so it's not the one you're used to if you've been there before. It's a new one.
Do they bring the fish tank? I like how that works. It's both a fish tank and
No,
it's
that thing doesn't
it's a
get
tank
moved,
full
dude.
of fish. Does that come with them on the road, or is that
No, that
okay.
stays in the show.
I was just
dude.
that's another comma thing, because where you put the comma, it's either a tank full of fish or it's a like go kill people with full of fish tank.
So what booth
it's
number
both.
again? 30.
It's 3025. It's the old
3025.
Cybergun booth.
Oh,
Ooh.
we're in the same hall. We're
Are
at
we?
we're at 3826.
So we should get together and have coffee and tea or something.
There's
That-
actually a food court in between us.
so we
Oh,
can
that's
meet in
awesome.
the middle.
Yep.
High five.
Perfect meeting place.
Oh yes.
All right, coming up next, where are we at? Did I already
Operation
make
Castle.
I already made fun of Centurion, right? Okay. Operation Castle, March 27th to the 29th in the Pacific region. Lion Claws. This is John Liu's prison event in Carson City, Nevada. You're going to have cartel guys. You're going to have law enforcement guys or guards, and then you're going to have prisoners. It's going to be interesting. He puts on a good show. I have to say, if anybody gets the atmospherics right, a Lion Claws nails it. They get sound, they get pyro, confusion, a lot of fun. Make sure if you're in the area, do not miss that. Coming up after that, Southern Front 2, April 3rd to 5th in the Southern region. Oh, wow, did we finally get an American Milsim? I haven't said that in a while. We'll have to reindeer games.
Yep.
American Milsim. This is one of their locals, right? Did I
Yeah.
get that right? Okay, yeah.
American Muslim local.
So this is their local at D14. Everybody I talked to last year had a blast when they went to this.
It was so fun.
Everybody from your weekend player who just came out because this was a special event at his normal field, to your hardcore milsimmers that came in from other places. I have not talked to anybody who has not had a great time one way or another at these local events. There's something really unique, and I would suggest you guys hitting them up. They're bridge events, but it's a great way to meet a variety of
It's
people.
a lot less
It's
stressful.
awesome. Yeah, it's
It
just
is.
a fun day.
And Matt, Richard Hunt asks, can he drive the Titan truck?
Not again.
I think I remember at Copperhead, someone stole your truck and disappeared with it, and you were walking down the
So-
road at one point.
So Richard was our driver, and I very, very clearly told him that this was a transport vehicle and not a frontline vehicle.
Did he put some dings in your truck? Is that what you're trying to say?
So this is the worst part. So we exfilled off of the vehicle. We jump in a building where, we're all the way up on the front lines. And then all of a sudden I see the Titan truck moving in front of us. And I'm like, this is not what I said to
Well,
do.
you at least took cover behind it, right? I mean, in for a penny, in for a pound.
Yeah, until who was it that did it? Until Christian from Enola Gay friendly fires a rocket right into the vehicle and leaves a huge dent above the front left tire.
Ooh, is there more room for anybody else under that bus that you just threw him? Or is he going to be there by himself?
I have to bring it out because it wasn't Christian's fault, really. I mean, the rocket malfunctioned, and he walked up to me and he's like, "Hey, buddy, I need to tell you something." But it was
totally see him
Richard
saying
who had to listen to Tony Patton yell at him to get to the front line. That was.
I have to say he's a better friend than me, because I would have started screaming at Cost at that point. Like,
Yeah.
I just would have screamed, "Dude, don't shoot rockets!" I just, I would have pretended it totally wasn't me at that point. I am completely not a good friend.
I'm also totally kidding, by the way, Richard. You can drive that truck anytime.
He's lying. He's not.
You should have let him stew for at least a week. That would have been great.
Yeah, you gotta let that marinate a little bit before you give him the good news. All right, so Southern Front 2, tons of fun. Coming up after that, Operation Fallen Kingdom, April 3rd to the 5th, Northeast region. Lion Claws again, Fort Monmouth in Tinton Falls, Tinton Falls, New Jersey. I don't know anything about Fort Monmouth. Do you guys know anything?
Nope.
No, remember it's like the headquarters quad.
Oh, that's right.
13 buildings that are in a big U shape.
It's like a
3 stories.
If you guys have ever been on an army base, it's like a brigade footprint with all the barracks and stuff around it. So think of a mixed urban, outdoor, closer buildings. Fill in the blanks. If you've been on any base in the country, just think about playing airsoft in the admin areas. Coming up after that, Battle at the Depot, April 24th to the 26th. This is an MSATO event at Seneca Army Depot. I checked some Google images of that, and it looks really rad. So definitely, especially if you are up in that northeast region, I know your season does not last very long, so take advantage of all these locations because having grown up there, I know how miserable it is outside. You don't go outside from like November to March. You just stay in. So take advantage of those wonderful spring and summer events when you can. And then finally, to round this out, we have a special treat for you guys. So we are going to be having Matt, and what's his field name again? I totally forgot the name of it.
Matt Holler.
Matt Holler. What's his field name?
It's right there.
Did I mess? Oh, is it right there? Oh, so you idiot-proof this for me, and I
exactly,
and I didn't even clear that bar.
Exactly.
Okay. So, so listen closely. Missouri Airsoft and Simulation Site. Now, this is the old MAC and had a couple names before that.
It's now MASS.
It's now the MASS. June 6th to 7th at the old airfield in Rantoul, Illinois. He's going to be holding Operation Hornet's Nest, and we will actually have the pleasure of having him, well, not in the studio because we will be on the road.
Nobody knows this yet.
Did I?
So he's going to be in the Valken Debrief at SHOT Show from our suite live. And I think he might be giving away an event ticket.
I can't talk about that. But okay. He is going to have exclusive information on Operations Hornet's Nest. We'll have maybe the phone lines open so you can ask
we're going to have the
directly.
phone lines open at SHOT Show.
And this is a little teaser for you guys about that kick-ass op. And you ready over there?
Yep. Matt, just mute your microphone real quick.
Cool.
And then we'll be right back with Matt Horner from Titan Power right after this quick teaser video for Operations Hornet's Nest. Man, that was
I might that got me a little excited. That looked like everything that you'd kind of want for a rad little event space. You got busted out windows, you got busted out walls, you got big open areas indoors, you got tight quarters, you got dark, you got light, is cool. You got multi levels. I'm sold. You should be too. That was rad. What do you think about that, Matt?
Yeah, that looked awesome.
So definitely, if you are in that area, let's go. June 6th to 7th, Rantoul, Illinois. Unique location, and we might have some more teasers coming down the line.
I'm gonna share the Facebook event link for that.
To drop that down there?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna drop it in the chat. So
and this is kind of I'm gonna go a little rant for a second. Support your local fields, guys. I know there's been some chatter out there recently from the talking heads and when the girls get together and have a talk, but field owners are, I mean, we say these cliches, but they're important.
Here's the thing going on. So if you're following current events, there's a lot of stuff going on in Iran and Iraq. Here's the thing. There could be a possibility that the latter half of the season, military base, airsoft events, training facility, airsoft events that are active training facilities, military bases, they might have their airsoft events canceled if the stuff in Iran and Iraq escalate where more military units have to do training. So you got to show love to these local fields, these local stores, because guess what? They're always going to be there. No matter what happens in the world, they're always going to be there unless you keep going to these big events and not supporting local. And we need those local fields.
I mean, I was just trying to get, I mean, that was very important, but I was just trying to give a shout out to local field owners because I love them. I mean, like,
we're going to have a lot of local field owners on the show.
That was what
in
I was
2020.
leading into. I mean, I appreciate the information, but I was going to drop the whole, like, we're going to support field owners, and where do you see them? Right here. Like, that whole thing.
Oh, yeah. We're going to have a ton of local field owners on the show this year.
So, yeah. Please make sure you support your local airsoft field and store, because if they don't buy stuff to sell to you, the companies don't exist to make shows like this, and it's all circular. So,
Yep.
Please support.
Matt, thank you so much, man, for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it, because I know with you, with all these multiple hats that you wear, I mean, literally, you just basically go from one job to the next job to the next job.
I don't think hats is the right word. He has, like, keychains. Like, how many keychains can, like, he's got that big super key of, like, you know, the guy who runs the whole building.
Gotcha.
You know, like the janitor key from school, high school.
I don't think he sleeps.
What's sleep?
I do. Not a lot, but I do.
Well, it's why he's so pale. He has to get to his coffin about 9 o'clock.
I am pale. It's also the light. So thanks.
All right. So big shout out to our sponsors, Enola Gay, Valken Alliance.
And who's our T-shirt sponsor for the day?
Leviathan Tactical and MC Kydex.
If you guys don't know about our T-shirt program, if you send us a T-shirt, we'll wear it.
Yep.
So that's how simple it is. For the cost of one of your T-shirts,
you get airtime.
You get airtime.
Yep.
Because we're T-shirt whores. That's how we work.
So, if you just caught us in the tail end, check out YouTube tomorrow, SoundCloud. Just search Valken Debrief.
Catch us up.
Yeah.
And so we will be coming back next week with
David Lee.
Yep. He doesn't know he's actually a guest yet. That's the best
part.
No,
he was in the chat. He was fighting it. He's like,
no.
No.
So that's that, audience. Do a little homework for next week. Make sure you DM Asian with Hat or David Lee on Facebook and let him know you're excited to see him on the debrief next week.
Yeah.
It's all about crowdsourcing.
Oh, Rich Gully will see us in Vegas next week, or in Vegas.
He will.
Yeah, that's right. He's going to be at the Valhalla booth.
Yeah, Valhalla
Tactical.
That's new. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Z-Shot's
now
no
Valhalla.
longer Airsoft. They're doing real steel firearms. Valhalla Tactical. So
go check them out.
Punk's watching. That means he's like, get the hell off, so we can go watch their show.
Yeah, we'll end up.
ASAP is talking right now.
Go to ASAP podcast. Jump right over. Thursday is Airsoft night. Go support them. We love you guys.
We'll catch you later. Much. See you next week.
Bye.
See ya.
But there's only one guaranteed way you can have peace, and you can have it in the next second. Surrender.
I didn't think you had it in you. I'm your huckleberry.
We will not go quietly into the night.
It is your killer instinct which must be harnessed if you expect to survive in combat.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen.
Remember this day, man, or it will be yours for all time.
What keeps you awake at night?
Nothing. I keep other people awake at night.